It's hard work and sacrifice, and never even thinking twice, and it's waving at people you don't know. Cause that's how we're born and how we're raised. The Concho Valley is our place, it's cheering for the blue and the gold. Local is your neighbors, local is your friends, local is a place you've always been. Then I love the way KSAN's local every day.
Welcome to Dreamscapes, the Concho Valley's premier outdoor living design center. Choose from a variety of custom outdoor fire pits, pergolas, and other outdoor accessories to help complement your outdoor style. We sit down with you to help design your dream outdoor living space. We offer a wide variety of grills to choose from, including pellet grills, gas, charcoal, and ceramic, along with all the extra amenities to complement that new grill. Visit us today so we can get started on bringing your outdoor living space to reality. Right here at Dreamscapes, located at 3602 South Chad.
Remain informed on breaking news with the updated Concho Valley homepage app. Now containing severe weather alerts, push notifications, extended weather forecasts, and more. Download the Concho Valley homepage mobile app today. Available on iPad and Android.
Football, a game not so easily tackled in 5 minutes. Join sports director Jason Brich and Rachel Turnock as they go inside the game.
A close-up look at your area local high school football games.
For 30 minutes every Friday.
That's a lot of football.
Yes, it is.
You can hear me?
The whole time.
Okay. Inside the game. Fridays at 10:35 p.m. on KSAN, San Angelo's
football channel.
Sponsored by Mitchell Auto Group. It'd be cool if you guys could stop stepping on my lines.
You want some of this, man? Man, I knew I shouldn't have gotten the extra large.
And good afternoon, and welcome to our coverage of the Texas Duel qualifier, the final qualifier of this year's Texas Duel, and getting ready for our championships next weekend. David Wagner along with Cody Adams in the booth this afternoon. Cody, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's a gorgeous day out. It's a good day for some golf.
Yeah, I started to say these guys that are playing in this final qualifier are getting a little break from the guys who played all the others, the other four. It was so hot during all those qualifiers. Today, with the little rain that we had this morning, and has cooled off rather nicely for them.
Well, and there's a nice breeze as well, which sometimes can play a little bit into your swing and stuff, but it's always better to feel that a little bit cooler than, hot.
That's right. We're taking a look at our 18th hole. That's, of course, where we're doing our streaming coverage here on Concho Valley Homepage. We do appreciate everybody that's joining us again this afternoon. Very thankful of all the viewers that come out and support us on the homepage for our different streaming golf event coverages, and just taking a look at the 18th, Cody, I tell you what, it's not an easy hole. I mean, we've seen it in the Bentwood Partnership and, of course, the other qualifiers for the Texas Duel, and even the first flight guys struggle sometimes on this hole.
Well, and that's what makes this so fun, is it gives everybody kind of that opportunity to, if you play this hole well, it can really make a big difference when you're trying to qualify for next weekend.
That's right, and, there are a lot of folks that have qualified already. There's different flights for the Texas Duel, and I believe in the 6th flight, one of the lowest flights that are out there, there were only 2 teams that actually entered, and so they'll be playing in the championship, but next weekend. So we could have actually played, yeah. Cody. We should have signed up. We would have finished no less than 3rd place.
It's a good deal for them. That's a really good deal.
We were talking with some of the Texas Duel folks this morning, just checking in with them to see how that was going to play out, and if those guys were going to move up into the 5th flight or if they were going to stay on the 6th flight. And they said that really we just kind of want to stay in the 6th and go head-to-head and see who finishes. And they were like, well, there's not a lot of money in there for that. And they said, well, that's good with that.
They'll get to play next weekend.
Yeah, they'll definitely get to play Friday and Saturday next weekend. So it should be a good championship weekend for those guys. But excited to see how everybody plays here today. as you're getting a live look here. This is just some, I guess, Bentwood Country Club members that are out enjoying their Sunday round of golf before the Texas Duel folks start coming through. So we've been out here for a little while. Of course, of all of our crew, they got out here early this morning, set up cameras and all the technical equipment. So excited to have those guys. Now this looks like our Texas Duel guys that are maybe coming up here in the back. So actually, that may be another. That looks like Jack, a buddy of mine that just teed off. So he's a Bentwood member. That is not our Texas Duel guys yet. I know they were back on 15 a little while ago. So
you know, it's Sunday. It's gorgeous out. There's gonna be a lot of people out on the course.
A lot of, and that's the thing about the Duel being out here and at the at Bentwood Country Club. You know, the members have been very well receiving of the Texas Duel being played out here. Because it really hasn't affected member play as well. So, but exciting to see what we're going to do today in this final qualifier. We've got a bunch of teams. They teed off earlier this morning.
Yeah, 25 teams playing today, and the cool thing about this tournament is, you know, all these people playing have day-to-day jobs Monday through Friday, so they're not out, you know, playing like professional golfers every single day and practicing their craft. They're kind of just doing it, and they're really, really good, and that's what makes this so fun. Is you get to watch guys that you may see at your out here crushing balls and sinking putts.
Yeah, there are a couple of guys that actually work at our building that will be playing through today. They entered the qualifying round, the final qualifying round today. You probably heard them announcing the last few qualifying rounds. Cody Brown and Tom Stovall, they're both playing respectively in their own flights. So we'll get to give them the hard time that they've been giving all the other qualifiers.
I have to say nice things about Tom because he's my boss, but Cody undoubtedly will not be one of those people hitting balls and sinking butts.
Now, really? Because Cody is semi your boss. I mean, so
some days, depending on what's going on. But and that's the fun thing. He's one of those groups. I think there's only two teams in his flight, but he gets that opportunity. He's playing with his dad, I believe, and they're going to get out here and have a good time and get to come back next weekend. And that's a lot of fun. And it's fun to have this type of a tournament here in San Angelo where people get to watch it right here on our website and see these guys have a great time.
And there's lots of folks who have come in. You'll hear us say their hometowns are San Angelo, but there's a lot of other guys who are from out of town or from, you know, or may live here now, but from originally from another place. I did think I saw someone from South Carolina somewhere.
Yeah, we got Jason Wade. He's Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
That's quite a commute for a golf tournament.
And that's the thing that's fun about this is, you know, this is his second year playing in it, and we'll see him in a little bit with his partner Bubba Crunk. But that's what's fun is they know that this is a great course to play on, and they know this is a fun tournament to be a part of, and they have no problem, you know, taking a weekend to come be a part of it.
Yeah, well, we're really excited again to be out here for this final qualifier today of the Texas Duel and see what these teams are able to do. And we were talking, I guess they were taking around 12 teams for each flight, and you were saying Cody Brown and his father are already going to be playing because there's just a couple of teams in their flight for this final qualifier, and I think there were 7 that had qualified over the 4 qualifiers before, so there's going to be 9 in his flight probably that will be next weekend for the championships. So excited to see how they do, and if we get to give him a really hard time next weekend during the championships if he finishes 9th.
Well, and
so
one of the things I was thinking about kind of this week heading into this weekend, how lucky this group of players is, because we had all that rain, which obviously they water the courses every day and all of that, but that rain certainly helps change things a little bit as well, and really changes the course a little bit, making it just a little bit greener, a little bit softer at times. So I'm really curious to see if that has an effect today as opposed to, you know, guys playing last weekend or the weekend before.
Yeah, it'll really change sometimes the speed of the putts, obviously, because, you know, as it dries out, and even though they water the greens, it doesn't take long for them to dry out during a day. And, you know, starting off at around 10 o'clock your tee time, by the time you're getting around here to 18 at around 1:30-ish, 2 o'clock, then the sun's been beaten down. But you know, this morning with a little light shower that they had along with the rain overnight, that's got to keep them pretty soft so far. So we'll see how they're playing when we get our first group coming through here in just a little bit as we watch some of the members here out of Bentwood as they're coming up the 18th right now.
It always amazes me. I'm a golfer, not a good one, but I play. And
So do you play Army golf like I do? Right,
yes,
left,
exactly.
right,
so
left.
I'd spend my time over in the fence row over there next to that house, or maybe over by the side. Guys are putting it right down the fairway, and that makes it so much fun because it makes you think you could do it, even though I can't.
Well, that's, the great thing about golf in general is, as you're finishing up, even if you come here the 18th, if you hit one good shot on your last hole of the day, it makes you want to come back to have the misery of 18 holes again. So
now, if you play 18 bad ones, you may not want to come back at all.
Mm-hmm. And I have been known to do that a time or two, so that's why I would have been in at least the 6th flight in this tournament. So one of the things, too, this is, it's a handicapped, gentleman's handicap. I guess you kind of have to say what your handicap is and hold you to it. I guess if that's the way that people are getting entered. And I think they pretty much know, the organizers know a lot of these golfers and what their handicaps are. And I think some of them even got bumped to other flights once they had their qualifiers just to fill out because of the scores that they turned in during their qualifying. So we'll see how that works out for those guys. They might got bumped up a flight, and hopefully they didn't just play very well on their qualifier and get into the championships at a higher group that is going to be a lot harder for them.
The thing that makes this tournament fun, too, is, some of these teams are returning for their second, third year, players returning for their third years. So they've played with some of these guys in this tournament before. And I imagine waiting that year to come back and maybe get the guy that got you last year is a lot of motivation. And that's fun, too, to see them kind of talk that out on the course a little bit. And it's a lot of fun.
And if you watched our coverage of the Bentwood men's partnership, it's a little different because while they're two-man teams for the Texas Duel, like their partnership tournament, it is a scramble format. So it is a best ball scramble format during the Texas Duel. So the two, the best ball out of the two guys every time, and that's why we've seen some really low scores as well as people have turned in, a 15 under or stuff like that. So, kind of unheard of scores sometimes in golf.
And it changes the way you play a little bit as well, because there's a little bit of strategy to that as to where, one guy could say, well, I'm going to play a little bit light coming up to the hole, and the other one's going to say, well, I'm actually going to go straight for it and see if I can put it as close as I can. That way you have a safe shot, but you also have that shot to really go for it at the same time.
I mean, obviously, if your partner comes off the tee box and spanks one down the middle of the fairway, and then if you want to just grip it and rip it as well and see where you come up with, and maybe you're a little farther down than the other guys, or maybe not. Sometimes you end up alongside the members' fence line, where and it's not always bad to be along the members' fence line if you know the member that lives in that house.
Glass of lemonade.
You might get you a drink or something while you're over there. So it's a nice thing, and you can hear the breeze coming across our microphones today, folks. So you can tell, as Cody said earlier at the beginning of the streaming webcast, there's a breeze out here. So we might see how that plays into effect as people are coming up to 18. Now, the actual flag right there on the screen you can see is not blowing much, but we're up elevated on our little perch behind the 18th. So the breeze is obviously up a little higher. You can see some of the tree movements on the screen. So, if someone's trying to bring an approach shot that's coming in high, that might play with their ball a little bit, so we'll have to see how that goes along. As we look back down to the 18th, Cody, this may be our first group coming through. Yeah, I believe that's the Pursleys right there, AJ and Alan, because Alan does my taxes. So that would be Alan right there, the taller man in the ball cap. So, and I'm going to give Alan a hard time if he doesn't play this hole well. I'm telling him I'm going to find some other guy to get my tax return done with next. No, I wouldn't do that, because Alan does a really good job for me. He's done it for the last several years.
And they teed off right around 10 a.m. this morning, so, we're coming up on just about 1:36-ish. So it's been a long day of golf.
But a nice day for them, I'm sure, as we were talking about, just because of the temperature. So the team of AJ and Alan Pursley right now are 7 under. And then Tom Brooks and his partner is
Mike Torres.
Mike Torres, that's right. They are at 9 under right now. So
so this hole is really a big hole, as we talked about kind of starting things off. You got to play this one well, because 2 strokes really isn't hard to make up sometimes.
no, I mean, if someone has a bad hole right here or bogeys and someone birdies, then they finish out even.
Yeah.
So we'll see a very nice drive down the fairway there from those guys just on the right side. So again, like we said, it is a 2-man scramble. So you can tell that as one of the teams already has a really nice ball out in the fairway. And I believe that's the Pursley team.
Yeah, put it right down the fairway and lined up right with the hole. So it'll be curious to see kind of how they play that second shot, with it being that best ball type of format.
And just talking about our pin placement today, we'll take a better look at it here in a minute when these guys get up here. But it is sitting right up on top of the 18th green, which is kind of a flat area. We saw this pin placement in the Bentwood Partnership, I believe, on the first day of the partnership tournament. And what was funny was where this placement is, you would think would be a lot easier for some of the guys that are putting, but it turned into be a lot more difficult than most of them expected.
Well, the problem is once we look at it, you'll be able to see if you come down either side of it, you could be playing that way for a couple of putts if you don't get it going right.
It's kind of like the old putt-putt course with the ridge in the middle, the holes up on top of it. And
yeah.
So it rolls over one side or the other, you're going to have to be putting back up over the ridge. So that last tee shot right there, I think they're probably going to go with the partner's tee shot, because that looked like my slice coming off the tee box there. So I think that was probably one of those things that we got one out in the fairway.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and grip it and rip it, and we'll see what's going on. So, but there are 2 really nice balls from those 2 teams sitting probably within 10 yards of each other out in the fairway. So as we get underway with our coverage of the final qualifier of the Texas Duel Championships, our first couple of teams making their way up, and we'll be with you until all of the qualifying teams today finish up. So should be a nice day. Camera guys and everybody seem to be a lot happier today than they have been in other days, because it's cool, there's a breeze.
Nice little shade going on.
Yeah. Got to thank our salesman, Dan Scott, who did come out and cook us some bratwurst. We had some nice little sausages before we got started. So we got full bellies and water to go and a cool breeze. We're ready for today's qualifier.
They're going to, and as you mentioned, they're playing really from the same spot on the second shot. So it'll be curious to see, as you mentioned, the green, how they're going to play it, because if they, depending on if they can get right there on that ridge, they're going to be fine. But if they end up on the backside or the front side of it, they could be going up and over a little bit if they don't play it right.
Yeah, so you're looking at the shot of the green right there. So you can see where the placement is, and it sits right up on top. If you're down in front, a lot of the times in this placement, most golfers want to be down on the front half of the green, because, you can give it a little more as you're putting uphill. If you get on top of the ridge, either left or right of the hole, then it's a pretty flat putt, but it's deceiving as well, because as you're standing there looking at that putt, we saw so many golfers and some of the other qualifiers think that it was going to break back to the left and go down towards the front of the green because of the slope, and most of the time it was a straight putt. And we almost wanted to tell them every time, hey, quit looking like it's going to fall to the left, because it's going to go straight in the hole. So the Pursley's there taking a look at their shot. Of course, as we said, 2-man scramble. So you saw one of them drop their ball down and put it right there. That's Alan Pursley getting over his shot there. And we'll see what Alan comes up with here as he gets ready to make his approach. And these are all light again. So that's why we're seeing a couple of really good tee shots out in the middle of the fairway. Also know what Alan's been doing with all of my tax return fee money now. He's been coming out here to Bentwood and playing golf.
And he played it exactly the way you said that they would want to, playing it on that front side there a little bit, trying to play up to the hole.
Yeah, and he did a good job of stopping that shot as well, so it didn't roll back down the front side of the green. I'm sure he would have liked probably 2 or 3 feet closer to the hole, but he left himself a very makeable birdie putt right there.
Wow, nice shot by A.J. Pursley there.
Mm-hmm. He might keep his son around if he's going to make golf shots like that. So, you know, here's an interesting tidbit for you. Our digital media manager, King Grimm, sent me this text. Weather records have been broken during the time duration of this tournament. Last Sunday, the 12th, a rain record was set for a little over 2 inches. It broke the record back in 1951 of 2.05 inches. And then there's been a heat record streak set over the weekend of July 20th through the 23rd of 108 multiple days in a row, breaking records set as early as 1911.
Wow.
You know, that's why we keep him around. He is a wealth of useless knowledge, and we appreciate that, Ken. So
it comes in handy occasionally.
now that's the shot we were talking about. As you can see, that came all the way through the green and back here by these Texas Duel flags in the back. That's going to be tough coming back up over, because where they sit, chip into that hole, a lot of the times they'll roll back down off the front of the green.
And you'd assume here, Tom Brooks, you're going to assume he's going to try and play it kind of where Allen played his ball, just to make sure they have something close there.
Yeah, because we got, you know, team golf here in this two-man scramble. No pressure on your teammate, right? After you hit a shot like that, you're like, hey, buddy, pick me up. So he came in and almost got the kick he was looking for, just over the bunker, but it hung up in that fringe that's on the back side of the front side bunker. So still some work for those guys as far as putting is concerned, but I'm sure they'll take that shot over the one that's laying back here by the Texas Duel flags in the back half of our green. So our first couple of groups in the first flight coming up. You know, A.J. Pursley, Allen's son, he had a hole-in-one. I don't know a date, but over at San Angelo
Does it matter?
Country Club. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Anytime you have a hole-in-one, you always want to make sure that you have one somewhere. So appreciate these guys as we're watching them come up on the 18th green now. AJ, and then my tax man, Alan. Hey, Alan. Nice shot there, buddy. So we'll see the cuss and discuss is what I always like to say in a scramble. Which ball are we going to play, and where are we playing from? And I don't think there was much question as to which one the Pursleys were going to play from. So
yeah, well, and probably the same way with Tom Brooks and Mike Torres.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously they went over to Tom's last shot because that was really their best opportunity. And, of course, like we said, they were leading coming into this hole. They were 9 under, whereas the Pursleys were 7, and they're looking at a birdie. Obviously, so is the team of Brooks and Torres, but it's going to be a lot tougher here. They're at least going to gain a stroke on them, I would say, unless they make a really nice putt coming off this fringe. And it's always tougher to putt from the fringe.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge kind of that speed and power of what you want to hit it off of there.
So many times when you're putting from the fringe like this, your club will get hung up in it, or the ball, and the way that it comes out. As you can see, they left themselves a lot of work there. Now, obviously, Tom Brooks still has, you know, a run at it here to give them a shorter par putt. But the Pursleys looking at least getting a stroke back right now. If Brooks doesn't get this one closer, they may make up both those strokes and end up tying these guys here on the 18th.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Good job by our crew on the camera work there. A couple of different angles. And see, again, he left the same kind of putt, and while that's a shorter uphill putt, I would think that they would choose that one going straight up the hill, but it looks like to at least par this hole.
And it's just as we mentioned, putting off that fringe can be difficult because when you're coming off that fringe onto the green, you don't really know how the ball's going to bounce, and it really right off the fringe took that kind of downward turn there.
Now this is the Pursleys taking a look at this, and they're fixing some ball marks right there because obviously this is an important putt for their team. If they can make this right here and make a birdie, I'm going to put them at 8 under, and Allen just left it a little to the left. And see, that's part of that too, putting from where they are. That slope is down the hill. You have to read that green the right way and see where that is. So maybe that helped out his son a little bit to know that I need to put it maybe on the right edge so it'll drop back in there. And nice putt. So they finish with a birdie, and that will take them to 8 under for the day. So they'll finish up at 8 under. And then if they can make this par putt here, they'll stay at 9 under. And he bangs that in the back. So Brooks and Torres finish their day at 9 under, and the Pursleys at 8 under. We'll be checking, I guess, our statuses throughout the day with the Texas Duel folks to see who's qualifying and moving on. But we're of our coverage today of the final qualifier for the Texas Duel Championships next weekend here at Bentwood Country Club. So good day of golf for those guys. And it always comes down to there's sometimes a little lag between the groups that are playing through here. So as you look back down the 18th, you can see no one really coming up on the 18th tee box right now, but talking about that wind, well, you could see that the flag there actually on the green starting to pick up a little bit, and it's blowing directly down, which could come into play as people come for their approach shots.
Yeah, and I always find it to be more difficult, not so much off the drive, because you have really a wide range of where you're placing the ball at that point in the fairway, but that mid shot, trying to get up onto the green, that's where it really gets difficult with that wind, because if it pushes you a little bit one way or the other, now you're not playing on the green where you were wanting to, and that can then, of course, have a ripple effect the rest of the way on that hole.
Now, Cody, obviously, you're from Indiana originally, just been in San Angelo now for
a year and a half.
Has it been a year and a half already?
Yeah. I'll be in your office on Monday.
Time flies when you're having fun. I didn't realize you'd been here a year and a half. I thought it was just a little over a year.
I know.
Goodness gracious. Your contract's coming up soon. It's been nice for you working here.
Yeah. 6 months. Not that there's a clock or anything.
No. I'll be having to dig into my penny bank to see if I can keep you around for a little while. But let's talk a little bit, obviously, being from Indiana. Do y'all see this much wind, golf-wise? I mean,
it's a lot like West Texas weather in the sense that you just don't know. It depends on the day. We get a lot of wind. We have a lot, taller trees, obviously. We get more rain. The grass is so
well, just be braggadocious.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was just back home visiting on vacation, and it was very nice to see the tall oak trees and beautiful green grass that didn't crunch when you walked on it. But you do run into more so kind of fall time. You get a lot of wind during the fall. And, a lot of Indiana is cornfields, too, so it's wide open, and then you really get the wind going. So
now, have you had the opportunity to play golf since you've been down here at all?
I have. I've played a couple of times. I played with Adam Solarzik, who worked here once upon a time. And just a couple weekends ago, I played with Chief Meteorologist Dan Smith and KSAN Sports Director Jason Britch, and we went out and played, and it's different playing in Texas. It really is, because the grass is different, and in some spots, depending on where you're playing, the ground itself is different because it's a little bit harder or whatever, but we had a good time.
Well, one of the things I learned, obviously I'm from Texas, born and raised, and so I learned very early in my golfing, I don't know if you can call it a career, but when I started playing golf, let's just put it that way, at the putt-putt, you didn't have to worry about the wind. But, when I started playing actual courses, one thing that I learned very quickly was that it's always good maybe to know how to use your clubs the best way. So for me, sometimes where those guys were as a chip shot, I would play what I would call West Texas golf, and I might have used my 3-iron and almost putted it.
Yeah.
And just kept it low and let it roll up to the green. Now, obviously, those guys are much better golfers than I am, playing in the first flight, and so they knew how to, control the ball in the air and get it down, and obviously make a birdie putt there for the Pursleys. See those guys finishing out their round that way.
But the ball really does move differently here as opposed to other places, just because that ground is so hard so often. And that's why when we talked about that rain that we've had and the little bit of rain we got this morning, I wondered if that would change things just a little bit. You know, if people had come out or watched the broadcast here on Concho Valley Homepage and watched other teams play this same course in previous qualifiers, that might change the way they're playing it now with a little bit of that rain.
Yeah, and I wonder too, I know that I saw a couple more chances of rain for this evening. I don't know if there was any the rest of the week this week, but, you know, it could play into how championship weekend is next weekend as well. So that, of course, we'll have the coverage of that on Friday and Saturday here on Concho Valley Homepage. Cody will be doing the final day.
I will.
For sure. So I'll be out here on Friday and not sure who my broadcast partner will be at that time, because someone sitting next to me currently will have to be doing the newscast on Friday. So
yeah, Carolyn won't be happy if I'm not there with her.
I might work that out so that she has to solo the newscast. I do know your boss pretty well.
Yeah, right.
So I might just have to tell Carolyn, Cody is going to be busy Friday afternoon out at the golf course. So
how great, though, that we get to broadcast this to the Concho Valley on our website, because, you know, once upon a time, if you wanted to come out, you would have literally had to have come out and watched your friends play in this tournament. And now you can tune in, you know, they shoot you a text, hey, we're coming up on the 18th, and now you can tune in and see how they're going to finish out. And that makes it a lot of fun that we have this amazing technology now that we can have everybody out here and send it to thousands of people across the Concho Valley to take part in this.
Doing a live streaming cast of the partnership golf tournaments around here years ago, actually. And even when Nick Cranock, who's our former meteorologist on KLST side and now is up at our KLBK affiliate in Lubbock, Nick and I used to do these together, and we were out on the backside on a par 3 course, or a par 3 hole on the course that we used to do our coverage on. And we moved to the 18th, I guess not long after Nick went off to Lubbock, which was, I think, better for everybody because it was more fun as they finished up than, you know, doing coverage at a hole that was halfway through the tournament for a lot of the guys in the partnership. But as far as the Texas Duel is concerned, you know, this is kind of a newer thing, I guess, to Bentwood. First year for that around here. And Jay West and those guys that have been helping put it on this year, doing a great job for all these qualifiers, and looking forward to seeing how the championships finish up next week for them. See the guys back on 18 tee box now. Our next couple of groups coming through. There's Dwayne Poss walking up on the tee box there in the front. And then Mickey Scott. Now, Mickey's a really good golfer. I mean, I'd hate to say scratch, but yeah, he could be a scratch golfer. Mickey is a really great golfer, and he's playing with Dwayne. And then you've got some other guy. What is this other guy?
Some guy named Tom Stovall.
Oh, yeah. Stovall.
Claims he has 2 hole-in-one.
And Will Henderson, his partner. Of course, Tom, our GM at KLST and KSAN now. Poss and his partner, Mickey, are 8 under currently. And so we'll see how they finish up. And then Stovall and Henderson are 7 under right now.
And we talked about this hole being, it's always an important hole. It's the final hole of your day. But in the way the scores are going to work in qualifiers, it's going to be a really important hole for some of these teams that are bunched like that.
I believe that's Mickey Scott there getting ready to tee off. And if you look at that tee shot, straight down the fairway, right out in the middle, probably, I don't know, that's got to be easily within 100 yards, probably 50.
Yeah, probably.
So, great shot by Mickey there. Like I said, scratch golfer.
Yeah, I mean, that looked effortless.
That's where I usually say I hate you. So, because he makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
Stovall now with his tee shot. Tom looked like he pulled that down the left side of the fairway a little bit, but ended up nicely for him as he played back to the middle.
He got that nice roll.
Not as long as Mickey's drive. As you can see, it's back out there just past the hump in the midway point of the 18th, but still a great shot. That's Will Henderson there. Will's a big driver, but I'm not seeing where his ball came down, which is always kind of scary when you're on the 18th because, and he might have done that since Tom had put one out in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, just take a shot at it and see what you can pull off. Because Tom's shot really ended up fairly nicely for them.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Dwayne Poss is the ball that's on the left side of the fairway, our right, if you're looking at it from our vantage point up here. And then, obviously, we saw where Mickey Scott's is on the left side of your screen. So Stovall is sitting back behind them, probably 60 yards. So we will see who's picking up whose ball and who's playing in. I would assume that that Dwayne and Mickey will play from Mickey's positioning just because of that. It takes that front side bunker out of play altogether.
And really the wind, you're coming at it really, as opposed to with Dwayne's shot, you're kind of dealing with that wind pushing it a little bit as opposed to going against it.
Right. And if it's blowing across you, that can always play into what club you're using or how you're doing that. So Dwayne and Mickey making their way up there is swinging right by our cameraman. Mickey giving us a wave. I'd wave too if I hit the ball like that. So thank you very much. Yes. Will Henderson, I guess he ended up over. Maybe he knows someone
trying to get that lemonade.
Yeah, trying to get that free drink. Stovall and him talking about it though, because lengthwise, if his ball is this far up, is he gonna go ahead and pick it up? Yeah, I think they're gonna say, let's go ahead and go back to yours and play from there. 'Cause that tree over there is just coming into too much play for them.
Yeah, that was probably the deciding factor there, because he was closer, but with Tom's shot, you're hitting straight on, and you don't have to worry about hitting that tree and coming back at you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do what I was talking about as far as West Texas golf and use a lower iron, a 3, a 2, a 1, something like that, and try and keep it under that tree. But then you got the sand trap over there that comes into play. So Stovall and Henderson taking a look with the rangefinder to see exactly how far they are. But, you know, a nice shot by Tom being out in the middle of the fairway. It gives you an opportunity to really come at it as however you want to. You know, the Bentwood course is just under 7,000 yards, 6,932 yard course. It has 7 water hazards and numerous bunkers. 59.
Wow. Jeez.
So
that's where I'd be playing most of the time.
Well, I like the beach. I usually like
building sandcastles.
I like the beach with a margarita, though, not when I'm, playing golf.
Who says you can't have both, David?
Well, true. You've been out to the partnership here before,
yeah,
so
right?
I'm sure the Texas Duel, some of these guys, may partake in a few adult beverages as well while they're playing. Stovall now gonna take his drive and see if it ends up being his hole or, if his partner is going to help him out. That looked like it was leaking a little right. Tom's not happy with it at all. So now his partner is going to have to help him out.
Gonna need a big shot here from Will Henderson.
And Will's a big guy. That's why he drives the ball as far as he does, probably. So I think Will likes that shot. He's looking at it. Looks like it.
So that'll play much better than Tom's did.
Yeah, it's given him an opportunity. It fell back over here on the right side fringe. There's a good shot of it there. So not as far back as what we saw the one while ago.
It's a really tough spot to be in, though, still.
Yeah, still, because you've got to get out of that fringe and then keep it from going past the hole and down over the front side of the ridge. So Dwayne Poss and Mickey Scott now back out in the fairway with their second shot. Have a real good opportunity to get it on the green here and make a birdie putt. Coming into the hole, they were 8 under for the day. So could finish out with a nice 9 and tie Brooks and Torres, at least for the qualifying round today. All these guys in the first flight, as we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the first flight today. Dwayne Poss. That's a high shot. He wasn't real happy with it because he ended up just a little short. The front side of the green didn't quite get what he wanted to get it up on there, so...
Yeah, strategically he was trying to do what we've talked about and play it coming up to the hole. Just didn't get enough oomph under it there.
And it might have been one of those where, you see Mickey, he's got 2 different clubs out there. He's trying to decide which one I'm going to use. And now he's asking Dwayne, okay, you hit a what? Okay, maybe I should use this one. Dwayne probably said, Mickey, you're the scratch golfer. You hit with whatever you feel most comfortable.
You do whatever you want to do on that.
I'm not gonna play your caddy in this role. I will be your teammate because I want us to do well. So.
That'll play really well.
Yeah, that's a really nice shot by Mickey. A little over. Probably left himself 20 feet for the birdie putt coming back to it, but it's up on the flat part of that ridge, so has a good opportunity. As we saw with the earlier putt from Brooks and Torres and the Pursleys were back on this side. They were a little more to the right there, but that ball should fall back to the left just a little bit as it goes from where they are. So Stovall and Henderson making their way around the green. Going to grab Tom's ball on that side
and really in the same situation as Brooks and Torres were just a few minutes ago, having to play off of that fringe and judging where that ball is going to come off the fringe and how it's going to roll the rest of the green, because that's not an easy putt, obviously. So then you have to decide, are we going to try and make it from here, or are we going to put it in a spot where we can make it the next time around?
Right, because you never know how the ball's going to roll out of that fringe grass. A lot of times you may think you have a read on it, and at the last second, one blade somewhere in that fringe will change the direction of a ball so many times. So I just don't get a really good true roller coming right off the edge of the fringe. It'll make it shift to the left or to the right. Stovall's dropped his putter. Looks like he may be electing to try and chip it to take that out of the play altogether. Which, when you're one of these golfers, sometimes that's a better decision. You just take that out of play altogether if you have that short game.
Will's going to do the same thing.
And having a short game, when Will's changed his mind. He looked at it, and he's like, nah, I think I'm going to putt it. But that's one of the things. If you have a short game, if you practice that a lot, that's a lot of pro golfers, a lot of these scratch golfers will use that same kind of philosophy around the edge. A little too strong, I think, there. He rolled it past the hole, but
had the right read on it.
Yeah, he had a very nice read on it, just didn't get it to play right where he wanted it, so left a lot of work there. Tom's going to want to get this a lot closer than that, because that's going to leave him a lot of work coming back and being a stroke behind Dwayne and Mickey here. They want to get a little closer. Stovall's trying to decide if he wants to stay with the chip shot, and it looks like he's going to. Be soft. Got a really great roll there, so gonna leave them with that short little par putt right there.
And that's the benefit, again, of this format, where Will could say, okay, I'm going to try and putt it, and then Tom came back and said, no, we're going to play this one safe and go for it this way.
And Will just dropping his by Tom's, putting it in, so they'll take that. And that'll leave them right where they were when they started at 7 under. So they'll be just behind Pursley and Brooks and Torres. Brooks and Torres leading. Now if Dwayne or Mickey can make this putt here, that'll put them at 10 under. And being first for today's qualifier for the first flight. Just rolled it past there. Dwayne had a pretty good read on that, but so Mickey still with the opportunity for his team to lead the first flight today. Hopefully he got a read from his partner's putt. Oh, nice putt. Nice putt. So they will finish up 10 under on the day. Again, that's why Mickey is the scratch golfer that he is. And you could tell on his putting grip there, he uses that, I guess with his right hand, takes the strength out of it by just kind of putting his index fingers low, just kind of guiding it as opposed to actually gripping the full club. You could see that Dwayne Poss uses just a traditional golf grip for his putter, which is the way most of us do. I mean, there's the reverse style where you put your left hand, you know, differently. So
putting is such a finesse part of the game, and that's, in my opinion, the hardest part, because it's all about aim at that point. You really take the power out of it. You know, a lot of us can get lucky if we just swing and hit it hard.
Oh, sure.
We'll put it in a place that can play it. But if you're not good at putting, it can be a long day on a course.
Well, what's the old adage? You drive for show and putt for dough.
That's right.
So those guys obviously trying to putt for some dough, as they finished up 10 under on the day, Poss and Scott. So they'll be our leaders in the clubhouse for the first flight for the qualifier today. And we still do have Briley and Wellhausen out of Dallas. You know, that's Parker Briley, his first year to play in this tournament, and then Clint Wellhausen, his third year to play in the Texas Duel. So we will see how they finish up. But we only have the one other team from the first flight. They're paired with a couple of guys from the second flight. Tom Sawyer, not today's Tom Sawyer, and for a Bad Rush reference, and Lewis Connor will be the other team that's playing with Briley and Wellhausen, and they're in the second flight, so that'll be our first second flight team that we'll see today. But these guys finishing up a good round here, and just waiting on our next group to make their way as we do our final day of qualifying for the Texas Duel Championships here at Bentwood Country Club. We appreciate, again, everybody joining us on Concho Valley. You that are on today, we do enjoy doing this, and it's a nice day to be out and about doing it, because had a little rain, cooled it off.
And we've already seen a little bit of everything in our first two groups. You know, we've seen the teams kind of scheme how they're going to play it and really figure that out. We've seen some guys overplay the hole a little bit, so it's been interesting to kind of watch everyone do it a little bit differently between everyone, and that's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, individuals that play the hole differently, but in a two-man scramble, obviously you're going to try and take the best one, and that's what we've seen so far. Is we've seen a couple of birdies already here on the 18th in the first flight, so nice to see that, and then a couple of teams finishing up with a nice par to finish out their day. So, you know, you can't complain too much about how the teams have done, or the teams couldn't complain, I would not think. Obviously, I'm sure they would have liked to birdie here, but you know, when you finish up with a par in the 18th and keep you where you are, keep you within striking distance, then that's always a good thing.
It is an absolute gorgeous day too. It's a little bit overcast. The sun's not beating down on anybody.
Yeah, if you tuned in on Concho Valley Homepage, but in a little while, maybe you want to come out and see firsthand how our coverage looks and how the live stream is, you're more than welcome to come out to Bentwood Country Club this afternoon and join us. You know, if you're a member, come, go to the pool, get us a drink, and oh no, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
sort of. Yeah, we'll be on the 18th. Come say hi.
Yeah, we're here, so you can always come by. I know that's one thing with the partnership tournament that's here. There's always so many members that come by and hang out and follow the group. It's been a little different with the Texas Duel just because people are spread out over those 5 different qualifiers, and so you know, family members and whatnot maybe not taking the opportunity to come out and watch these guys play, which probably helps some of the scores too, because I know obviously when you're a great golfer or a good golfer that are playing in these first flights, it's one of those things to play by yourself and with your buddies and and you turn in good scores. But when you start getting folks watching you in galleries and the live streaming, it does make it a little tougher on you to finish out a hole the way you would maybe on a Sunday afternoon with no one else around other than your crony over there that you're going to talk smack to after you birdie a hole.
Yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking when you're 200 yards out from the green and you've got a camera staring you in the face as you're trying to finish it out.
Most of these guys aren't used to that.
No.
They don't play golf with cameras around all the time. So we'll see how it affects some of them. So we're especially going to give Cody Brown a hard time when he comes around, our coworker.
He better hope he plays it well, because tomorrow could be a rough day at
Yeah,
work
it could be real. He'll probably call in sick if he doesn't play well, just knowing him. So we'll see how that works out. But again, we appreciate everybody being here with us at Bentwood Country Club on Conch Valley Homepage for our coverage of the Texas Duel final qualifier, the 5th qualifier in this Texas Duel Championships. Great tournament that the Texas Duel guys have put on. Jay Weston and all of his folks that have helped put this on here at Bentwood this year have done a great job, and heard lots of nice things from the golfers that are participating on how well everything's gone. And so the championship weekend next weekend on Friday and Saturday, of course, we'll have live streaming coverage of both those days once again. So looking forward to seeing all of that as well over the next week's time period. And we were talking about Bentwood and how big it is. Let's talk about the Bentwood grass.
Yeah.
It's Bermuda 419. 419 is important. Yeah,
yep.
Because it's an improved hybrid that was developed from the Tifton, Georgia turf breeding program. Tifway 419 is a fine textured, dense hybrid Bermuda that excels in high traffic areas or athletic fields and golf courses. So
it's great, and it's awesome that's what we have here, and that's what everyone gets to play on. My big question is, who is the person that thought, you know what, I'm going to grow up and breed grass. We'll crossbreed it, make some new grass.
I don't know, but the smart person probably around here is who puts this course together.
Yeah, and that's architect William Martindale. His company has designed 23 courses, including the Royal Oaks Country Club in Dallas, Texas.
Ah.
And it really is a gorgeous course. That was one of the first things when I got into San Angelo and came out and checked out Bentwood and kind of drove around and checked out the course. It really is just, it's really pretty out here. And there's something very calming and relaxing about a pretty golf course.
I tell you what, I enjoy that all the time. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with more coverage of the 5th and final qualifier of the Texas Duel Championships here in just a moment. You're watching it on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.
It's hard work and sacrifice, and never even thinking twice, and it's waving at people you don't know. Cause that's how we're born and how we're raised. The Concho Valley is our place, it's cheering for the blue and the gold. Local is your neighbors, local is your friends, local is a place you've always been. Then I love the way KSAN's local every day.
Welcome to Dreamscapes, the Concho Valley's premier outdoor living design center. Choose from a variety of custom outdoor fire pits, pergolas, and other outdoor accessories to help complement your outdoor style. We sit down with you to help design your dream outdoor living space. We offer a wide variety of grills to choose from, including pellet grills, gas, charcoal, and ceramic, along with all the extra amenities to complement that new grill. Visit us today so we can get started on bringing your outdoor living space to reality. Right here at Dreamscapes, located at 3602 South Chad.
Remain informed on breaking news with the updated Concho Valley homepage app. Now containing severe weather alerts, push notifications, extended weather forecasts, and more. Download the Concho Valley homepage mobile app today. Available on iPhone, iPad, and Android.
Football, a game not so easily tackled in 5 minutes. Join sports director Jason Brich and Rachel Turnock as they go game.
A close-up look at your area local high school football games.
For 30 minutes every Friday.
That's a lot of football.
Yes, it is.
You can hear me?
The whole time.
Okay. Inside the Game. Fridays at 10:35 p.m. on KSAN, San Angelo's
San Angelo's football channel.
Sponsored by Mitchell Auto Group. It'd be cool if you guys could stop stepping on my lines.
You want some of this, man? Man, I knew I shouldn't have gotten the extra large.
And welcome back of the Texas Duel qualifier, the final qualifier of the Texas Duel Championships here on Concho Valley Homepage. David Wagner, Cody Adams here at Bentwood Country Club this afternoon, and taking a little break there, but break kind of because we did have some rain this morning, and so that did get a few of the groups off a little later than what they were expected, and so a little delay, so a little gap between the first 4 teams that we saw as we start our coverage around 1:30 this afternoon, and we should be getting back to our final first flight team, and our second flight team should be coming up here in just a few minutes as you're taking an overhead look at the 18th hole at Bentwood, where we are for this Texas Duel qualifying tournament.
And already we've watched those first 4 teams play this 18th hole a little bit differently, as we talked about the green a little bit. You know, that hole's sitting right up on the ridge there, so there's really 2 ways to play it. You can either play it coming up toward the hole or play it from behind coming back up the other way. And we've seen each partner, because this is a best ball effort between the teams, so you get to play whichever shot you want between the 2 players. We've seen them play it a little bit differently and try and strategically place their balls here. So it's been a lot of fun to watch these first 4 teams in this first flight kind of approach it differently at times.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of birdies out of those first 4 teams, a couple of birdies, a couple of pars, so a good start to the 18th hole, as you can see as we're flying along here what it kind of looks like, and that pin placement there you can see is right up on the ridge. That's pretty much where it is sitting, and you can tell just split between those 2 bunkers, right, one a little more to the front and one a little more to the back. So the 18th playing really well, and folks so far enjoying it. A lot of green out there. That's due to the rain that we've seen over the last week or so. So looks pretty nice overall, and excited about our coverage of this final qualifier of the Texas Duel tournament here at Bentwood Country Club. Now we do have a lot of folks from a lot of different places, a lot of folks from San Angelo that are playing as well, as you know, they came up on I guess it was Thursday afternoon was the cutoff for qualifying if you wanted, or qualify for registering if you wanted to play in this final qualifier. So a lot of these folks that were playing today were kind of waiting till Thursday to see what who else might be entering, or and then they threw their name in the hat and said, hey, we'll play.
Yeah, kind of taking the easy way. We'll just go ahead and say it. I mean, they're smart about it.
I mean, Cody and I thought about it as well. We were gonna get in the 6th flight, since there's only like 2 teams, I think, in the 6th flight.
Yeah, my boss wouldn't let me get the day off to do it, so I had to.
Yeah, well, we could have worked something out, I'm sure. So
we have 25 teams playing today, trying to get into next week's championship rounds, and next weekend's going to be a lot of fun, because the qualifying rounds we've seen so far, we've seen a lot of talent playing, and even today in these first 4 groups, first 4 teams, we've seen a lot of talent play. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see the best of the best next weekend.
Yeah, and of course on Friday it'll be the first day of the championship, and then the second day, so it's a 2-day finishing championship. So you'll be able to see, you know, it could change. I mean, people that may fall off on the second, and those that are a few strokes back on that first day may end up winning it all. So we'll see how that plays out next Friday and Saturday in that championship weekend. And
a lot of times with best ball format, your scores are going to be bunched up there. It's going to be a 1, 2, sometimes 3-stroke difference depending on the talent level. But so really this day, we've seen already be a close one where a birdie has made a stroke difference or whatever it may be, and that's going to be the case next weekend, more so when you have the best of the best playing, where those scores are going to be really bunched up, and it's really going to come down to Saturday.
And you can hear, we talked about it when we started the broadcast, the wind coming across our mics a little bit, and you can see just on the Texas Duel flag there in your shot that the breeze is really coming across the green as well. Now the flag on the actual stick on the at the pin is not blowing very much, but you can tell that the wind is kind of swirling around coming down the 18th, and we've seen some folks that are have kind of tried to play that West Texas golf and keep it out of the wind, keeping it low. But we'll see how some of these other teams do as they come by. Our good friend Cody Brown and colleague and his dad went by just a few minutes ago as we were in our break. They were making their way to the 10th hole, so They were teeing off, I guess it was later this morning. They didn't get off as early as some of these other guys. I don't remember exactly what their tee time was, but
they got off about 11:30 this morning.
So just before noon for those guys, and played the front side, and said they were 2 over on the front side, which not too bad for them.
They didn't know they were going to play, really. They kind of just decided Thursday, as we talked about,
that's when they entered.
Hey, let's do it. And so come out here and have a good time. And that's the thing we've talked about as well. You know, it is guys like Cody and his dad and just business people here in San Angelo that are wanting to have a good time and decided to come out and play. And we appreciate the fact that they do that, because they could have stayed at home and just watched the broadcast, but they want to come out and be a part of this, and Bentwood appreciates it as well, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and the guys that have helped put on the Texas Duel here this year, Jay West and all of his staff, done a really fine job of getting the qualifier tournaments ready, and all the broadcast as well here on Conch Valley Homepage. All of our staff doing a great job of being out here and enduring some really hot days, and today enjoying a nice cool breeze and not so hot day after a nice little front coming through and bringing us some rain as well, which I'm sure everybody is very thankful for. You know, I do want to say, just while we have a minute here, as we're waiting on one of these Texas Duel folks to come through, thank you to all the folks who came out to our Clear the Shelters event, KSAN and NBC initiative yesterday out at Conch Valley Paws and the animal shelter. A little over 50 dogs, I guess, were adopted. So we'd like to thank those guys for taking part in that.
We had a lot of people out there from the station volunteering to help clear those shelters, and really the work that Concho Valley Paws does, signing that agreement with the city to be the adoption partners with the city. So it's really good to get some forever homes, as they say, and really a great initiative, not just here in San Angelo. This is happening across the country yesterday.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Because it's NBC, any across the United States yesterday helped out with Clear the Shelters. A couple of years they've been doing that, and the last 2 years, obviously KSAN, our NBC affiliate here in San Angelo, helping out with that. And last year, a little over 88 dogs were adopted. This year, I know we did 50 plus. They had some that were still working out, I guess, their adoption process, which will probably get finished up tomorrow, from what I was understanding last night. But that went till midnight last night, and it was crazy. There were some kids that were still coming out and adopting animals at 11:15, 11:30 last night, or I say kids, folks just in town, different people. Victor Glenn was out there, Chris Ramirez from the KSAN staff, so saw some of their Facebook Lives that they were doing late into the evening as folks were taking home new pets last night. So.
And what a fun way to do that. You're making it from that 6 to midnight, kind of changing it up a little bit, because sometimes we can get a little deaf to the idea of adopting pets, but when you put something like that, a fun spin on it, it really changes things up, and great job by Concho Valley Paws to help those animals out.
I was out there till about 9 o'clock last night.
That's late for you.
Until several mosquitoes tried to pick me up and carry me off, thanks to all this wet weather that we've had. They got kind of bad out there at the end, and so as opposed to making my way into the shelter and staying near the kennels where all the dogs were barking, because that got kind of, it was loud in there. But I chose to head on home and get ready to get some sleep and make it out here for this afternoon's live streaming. So,
and you mentioned those mosquitoes. We've had record rainfall over the last few weeks, and so that's been something obviously that's having a positive effect here in West Texas and San Angelo, and as you can look at it's looking very nice. And obviously they water it, but it never hurts to have that couple inches of rain that we got there.
Sure. I'm sure the Bentwood staff have been very grateful of seeing the rain. Even this morning's little rainfall, I'm sure they were thankful for. I know I texted our staff to make sure that we were still on for this afternoon, because it was pouring at my house this morning around 9 o'clock, and I thought, well, are we still going to be playing golf today or doing coverage? And got out here, and I noticed that the Crack engineering staff had nice trash bags covering all of our electronic equipment. We were ready to go. So
yeah, they know where the money is. They don't mess around with that. We can get wet. It's fine if we're wet, but
electronic equipment and water do not mix. So, but again, we appreciate everybody joining us here on Concho Valley Homepage for today's final qualifying round of the Texas Duel Golf Championships here at Bentwood Country Club, and looking forward to seeing some more golfers here in just a minute. We took a break and said that they were about 20, 25 minutes between the last group that went off. We'll just kind of recap for you real quick here. We saw A.J. Pursley and Alan Pursley come through this morning along with Tom Brooks and Mike Torres. The team of Torres and Brooks finished at 9 under, and Pursley finished at 8 under with a birdie.
Yeah, gained a stroke on this 18th hole.
Yeah, as Torres and Brooks had a par to finish at 9 under. And then Dwayne Poss and Mickey Scott got a birdie as well here on the 18th to finish at 10 under and lead the first flight. It could change. We have one more team that's coming through from the first flight. And then Will Henderson and Tom Stovall finishing up at 7 under with round. But like you were talking about just a minute ago, it's just 3 strokes from, fourth to first in that first flight today. So a lot of good scores from all those guys. Like I said, we have that one other team of Parker Briley and Clint Wellhausen that's in the first flight. We'll see them here in just a minute when they come through with the first group in the second flight of Lewis Connor and Tom Sawyer. And we'll see how that first flight will finish up and who qualifies for next weekend's championships on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, the rain messed things up a little bit for people this morning kind of getting going, so I know some folks are a little bit delayed. And of course, you play a little bit slower when it's nice out, too. You really enjoy the weather and try and get things going as well. Make sure you're getting good shots. And there's a lot riding on today as well, so they're not going to rush through and just try and finish up. They want to make sure that they're doing the best that they can. So
if you're going to qualify for the championship round, and you paid some good change to be in the tournament already, you would like to at least get to the championship weekend and hopefully make your money back or make a little extra money to go in your pocket if you could finish first or second, as they're paying out, I believe, first, second, and third.
Good deal.
You would want to do that. So if I remember correctly, too, there's 12 teams that should make it in each flight. For those that have 12 teams in their flight, we were talking about the 6th flight. There's only a couple of teams that have made it, and they want to stay there. And they're just going to battle it out next weekend between the 2 of them, and that should be fun. And I'm sure a lot of just bragging rights between the 2 of those teams. So,
and we've talked about that, where a lot of these folks have played this Texas Duel before, and they've seen each other and maybe got beat out last year and are looking for that opportunity to get back at somebody this year. So it makes it a lot of fun when you see them on this 18th hole, really, being a lot more serious than you and I would be playing just on a Sunday for fun,
I don't think I'm ever serious when I'm playing golf.
You can't be. It's too stressful.
No, because that's just one of the things for me in golf in general. I used to be, because I'm very competitive as it is, but golf is so demanding on you mentally to stay focused during each shot, and that many times throughout 18 holes is just more mental capacity than I want to to go through. So it is nice to watch these guys that are local businessmen and folks from around, and as far away as Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, we were talking about a while ago when we first started the broadcast. We've got a team member that's in, and I was wondering too if those guys, because I know Bubba Crunk pretty well, I was wondering if his partner took this week as vacation, because he knew if he got in and they made the finals, then it would just be a week-long deal for him, today and then next Friday and Saturday to finish up. So that's not a bad way to spend your vacation.
Playing a little golf?
I think most people from Texas would rather take their vacation to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as opposed to the other way around. But, if you're coming to see a good buddy or something and play golf 3 times, then that may work out really well for you.
Well, the thing that we've talked about is the talent that we're seeing, that we've already seen in these first 4 teams, makes the way, if I go out and play a round of golf, as you mentioned, you're thinking about your shots and you're doing stuff like that. But these guys really actually make it look pretty effortless. And they really get out here and have played it really right down the fairway for the most part, everybody, and getting in position to birdie. And that's made it a lot of fun because you're watching good golf right here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. And it's cool to have that here in San Angelo, I think.
Yeah, we've been doing a live streaming cast now for several different years, obviously of the Bentwood partnership and some other golf tournaments in town, but Texas Duel has been nice enough to ask us to help them out this year. and we were excited to partner with those guys as well. And knowing that it was going to be here at Bentwood made it a pretty no-brainer for us as a and help over the 5 qualifying tournaments and then the championship weekend as well. So it's been exciting, I guess, to see, you know, over the qualifiers, even though there's been spread out the way they have, you know, that first week of qualifiers, that those teams, there's going to be some of those guys that we're going to see next weekend in championship Sundays. We haven't seen them for like a month almost now, and now they're going to be back to play next weekend, and we'll see how they finish up and how they're going to fare with the other folks that have maybe qualified even as late as today. So
sun's making its way out a little bit in the middle of the day here.
It's going to start to dry out this 18th green a little bit, I'm sure. So we'll see if these guys that are coming up now in these other flights, if it changes the way that they play this golf course at all, or this particular hole. So seeing golf car, I believe that's Jay West right there that's making his way back down, who obviously helps out with the Texas Duel. And it looks like maybe in the background there, that looks like one of his volunteers in the yellow shirt way back there. They are maybe finishing up on the 17th green and will be with us here in just a minute. So why don't we do this? Let's take another quick break, and we'll be right back with coverage of the Texas Duel final qualifying golf tournament for next week's championships here in just a moment on ConchoValleyHomepage.com.
And never even thinking twice, and it's waving at people you don't know, cause that's how we're born and how we're raised. Valley is our place, it's cheering for the blue and the gold. Local is your neighbors, local is your friends, local is a place you've always been. Then I love the way KSAN's local every day.
Welcome to Dreamscapes, the Concho Valley's premier outdoor living design center. Choose from a variety of custom outdoor fire pits, pergolas, and other outdoor accessories to help complement your outdoor style. We sit down with you to help design your dream outdoor living space. We offer a wide variety of grills to choose from, including pellet grills, gas, charcoal, and ceramic, along with all the extra amenities to complement that new grill. Visit us today so we can get started on bringing your outdoor living space to reality. Right here at Dreamscapes, located at 3602 South Chad.
Remain informed on breaking news with the updated Concho Valley homepage app. Now containing severe weather alerts, push notifications, extended weather forecasts, and more. Download the Concho Valley homepage mobile app today. Available on iPhone, iPad, and Android.
Football, a game not so easily tackled in 5 minutes. Join sports director Jason Vrich and Rachel Turnock as they go inside the game.
A close-up look at your area local high school football games.
For 30 minutes every Friday.
That's a lot of football.
Yes, it is.
You can hear me?
The whole time.
Okay. Inside the game. Fridays at 10:35 p.m. on KSAN, San Angelo's
football channel.
Sponsored by Mitchell Auto Group. It'd be cool if you guys could stop stepping on my lines.
You want some of this, man? Man, I knew I shouldn't have gotten the extra large.
And welcome back to our coverage of the final qualifier for the Texas Duel Championships here on Concho Valley Homepage. David Wagner along with Cody Adams, and we are back to golf. So it's been a little bit, obviously. We do have Parker Briley and Clint Wellhausen coming up, and they are 6 under, while Lewis Connor and Tom Sawyer are currently 6 under as well. So they're in the second flight and playing with the first flight team.
Parker Briley and Clint Wellhausen, that last team in the first flight, wrapping up here on the 18th hole now. And it looks like we're going to get things going here after a little bit of a time off as we let people catch up here to the 18th hole.
This looks like we got a 5th in this group. I wonder if this is someone else got in here with them. So I see that an update, Hewitt is 12 under. I'm not sure if they've added someone late with this group, maybe that's playing. So coming out of that's a first flight team as well, so they bumped Hewitt into this, Jason Hewitt and Clint Harris, and they are 12 under. So
right now leading the way in this first flight.
And that might have been one of those things that they were driving in from Lubbock this morning to play today and got here a little later, and so they threw them in with that last group. Originally had it flighted a different way, but let's just go ahead and make it a 6'em, and that may be why it was taking them a little longer to get around the course. You got 6 guys playing. I know if you've ever played golf and you run into 6'em in front of you, you always get a little ticked off about that. How did all those guys get to play together? You're yelling at somebody at the clubhouse when you get back. So.
Right. Or hope they let you play through.
Exactly, which never really works out well. Anytime you let someone play through, someone usually ends up sculling a ball somewhere. But we see a couple of really nice shots here off the tee box so far. One right out in the middle of the fairway, very well played. Probably about 50 yards from the 50, 60 yards from the green.
That's one of the better shots we've seen so far today.
And just right down the gut of the 18th green fairway. See it there on your screen now. Another ball not too far behind it. Great job by our cameraman to get that. Go back to the tee box now, and we got a couple of guys still left to tee off, since we got 6 together here. There's another really nice tee shot. He's going to try and match the other guy, and he may have just outdrove him.
Great drive there by Clint Wellhausen.
Wow. That's a huge golf shot right there. So a couple of really nice ones out in the fairway. Their teammates are high-fiving them, I'm sure, as they drive up. So,
yeah, again, this is a best ball format, so they're going to get to play their teammates' best shot at this point, which really kind of changes the way you play the hole a little bit. Somebody can maybe take a big swing at it, another person can play a little bit safer, and really, especially in this second shot here, when you're playing up to the green, you can decide, am I going to play it safe and play up to it, or am I going to go for it the whole way? And that's kind of a really cool advantage that you get in playing in this Texas Duel tournament.
These 3 teams, 2 of them tied at 6 under as they're coming up here, and one of them at 12 under. So that team from Lubbock of Hewitt and his partner will be the leader of the first flight. If they par out this hole easily, they'll lead the first flight by 2 holes, or today's qualifiers at least, or by 2 strokes. So it looks like I think everybody has, we got the one team that's a little farther back than these other two monster drives out there in the fairway. And I would take that fairway shot all day long, right there.
Yeah,
So
nothing you can complain about there, right in the middle.
These other two teams, someone ate their Wheaties this morning. So now from the middle of the fairway. Nice smooth swing there.
Nice little shot there by Lewis Connor. It's going to roll back down on the green there, and that's what we talked about. It started out nice, but the way the green is set up with the pin at the top of the ridge, it can really roll its way down into that fringe if you're not careful.
Yeah, if you don't have enough spin on the ball to make it stick when you hit back there and make it spin back towards the hole, it is going to come back off the backside. So his teammate's not liking his shot either. It's a little over to the left and in the first cut off the green. So they're scrambling. They're going to have a long birdie putt. Hopefully leave themselves with a decent par putt from where they are on this back fringe.
And you might even think about playing Sawyer's ball if you want to play your short game. You know, if somebody's a good short game player and you can play it up safer that way. We saw Tom Stovall make a nice shot earlier from almost that same spot.
Right.
So maybe, I think they probably play here off the back fringe, but still kind of a hard spot to be in for that group.
Trying to decide as they can see him over to the left of the green or on the cart path. He was standing up on his cart trying to get a better view of the first shot to see if it rolled all the way off or where it was. So back out on the fairway now. Nice little chip. See if he can get it to fade back, and that's a nice looking golf shot right there as he left himself up. Him and his teammate a pretty good putt. He's like, here, why don't you get yours inside this one and we'll feel better about it. Just a little too much muscle on that one, so he's like, well, teammate, thank you for putting the first one close.
Yeah, and I think that part of that's, what we talked about, playing it a little bit differently, somebody playing where up closer and then somebody kind of going for it there, and you don't have to worry about it because your partner played a good shot the first time around. So
these guys, I thought that this team had one out in the fairway as well, but apparently it was not theirs. So they're playing from just not too far from our cameraman's position back there, just under a tree. As you can tell, he's shaded there. You can see the flight in to the green. And there we are, sitting back behind it. He'll be aiming just to the left of our tower as he's looking at us. Almost looks like he's kicking a field goal with the Texas Duel flags on the backside of the green. He wants to aim it right between them. Great shot there. You can see the pin. And he didn't get it where he wanted it. Wide left.
luckily, they get another shot at it here.
That's the great thing about this tournament, being a two-man scramble. His partner sees what he did, and he's going to try and throw his back out as he carries his partner on up here. I know when I played in a lot of scramblers, I ask guys, or scrambles afterwards, I say, is your back hurting? Because you carried me all day.
That's right. They just needed a fourth.
Sometimes. just for the handicap. He's trying to figure out if he likes it. Didn't quite get the kick he wanted off that fringe, but it'll be a little better shot coming off there than back off the backside of the green where his partner was. So that team will make their way up, and this is, you know, coverage of 3 teams that we have here for the Texas Duel.
There are last two first flight teams here finishing up, Parker Briley, Clint Wilhausen, and then we've also got Clint Harris and Jason Hewitt from Lubbock finishing up that first flight, and then our first second flight team we've seen, Lewis Connor and Tom Sawyer, out here on the 18th playing together.
So now, the cuss and discuss part. All the teams will. Where do you really want to go for? Except for the ones that we know.
Right.
That are on the green and are putting. So that was pretty simple to pick that up. And, yeah, we'll be putting this one, I'm pretty sure. So now we're looking from this backside. The fringe, a long putt. And you can tell there from the wide angle of this, you know, that ridge, it flattens out just about 2 feet on the front side of the green, and then it drops off pretty quick. So you want to, you know, you got to get some speed to get this up the back side of the ridge.
But not too much speed so that you go
that you don't go over
the other side
and down the front side. So that's always the issue. It was a good-looking speed, just didn't quite have the line there, so maybe now his partner will have a better opportunity at it. But left himself a very makeable par putt right there, so.
Yeah, really good approach there at least.
Oh, that is not even fair. It just the last rotate. It was like there was one blade of grass that said, "Nope, we're not going to let you make this putt." That was a great putt from back there. He read it really well from his par. Nice par for those guys to finish out the day.
That's always one of those from my standpoint. I would rather just miss it badly than miss it like that.
Then leave it with like a half a rotation left.
And that one will sit with him for a little while probably.
So now on the front side, by the front side bunker. And again, this is a putt that we've talked about earlier as well, coming off that fringe, just seeing what it does right off there. A lot of the times the ball will jump one way or the other. Oh. Good putt, but just left it on that low side.
Clint Wellhausen now will take another look at this one after Parker Briley just missed that putt there just barely. This is one of the final two teams here in the first flight.
And Wellhausen has that long putter with that reverse grip. Just got to keep it above the hole. It looks like he pushed it out there a little bit when he hit it. He knew it, I think, when he hit that too. Which is, you know, kind of odd that using the long putter in the reverse grip that he did push it that way, because most of the time that's what golfers use that for, keep you from doing that.
And that's frustrating to know that as well from his standpoint.
Birdie putt now. He did not have any doubt with that one. So Hewitt and Harris will finish up the day at 13 under and take the lead in the first flight.
That's a really
for today's
good day
qualifier. Mm-hmm. And then Connor finishing 6 under, as well as Briley and Wellhausen. Both finished their day at 6 under as they par this hole and finish up the 18th. And we'll go back out into the fairway where you've got the team of Bubba Crunk and Jason Wade, and they come in 8 under in the second flight for today. And then Camacho and his partner, Rocky Garcia, are sitting at 11 under in the second flight coming into the 18th.
Camacho from Abilene, Texas, and Garcia from Weatherford, Texas. Second and third years playing in this, respectively. Bubba Crunk, this is his 3rd year here from San Angelo. And Jason Wade, our fellow from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Right, Bubba's partner. We need to ask Bubba how that worked out. Whose vacation was it? And that one's not going to be what they wanted. It was a little more club than probably he should have used as he came through the green and on the back side. Teammate a little better. Didn't quite get the kick off the fringe on the front side bunker what he wanted.
We've seen a lot of teams playing in that spot, and you wonder if the wind is having just a little bit of effect on them there, kind of pushing them a little bit more maybe than they're hoping.
So Camacho now with a nice shot, left himself a little work, so he's going to see if his teammate can pick him up, put it between his ball and the pin.
This will be Rocky Garcia taking a shot here, trying to put him just in a little bit better of a position.
Nice smooth follow through there from Rocky.
You got all of that one though.
Yeah. Watch out back here, our cameraman in the back side. So came all the way back here just to his left. We talked about it earlier too. It's different for some of these guys who aren't used to coming up and having a camera on them. Now Bubba Crunk, I know he plays in the Bentwood partnership every year, so he's used to coming up on this hole, and even though he probably didn't hit that ball exactly the way he wanted to a while ago, as it came all the way through the green, but his partner picked him up, gave him a pretty nice opportunity over there just off the fringe. So these teams making their way up to finish out their day here on 18. But with a nice little tip of the hat. Surprised, he always usually wears his cowboy hat during the partnership.
We haven't seen a team putt from where Camacho and Garcia are yet today, so it's kind of interesting to see how they're going to play that one.
Yeah, and that'll be the telltale sign of kind of how the green's playing today, because we talked about it at the beginning of the webcast. We saw a lot of teams in the Bentwood partnership in that same spot, and a lot of them felt like it was going to go back to the left, and it was a pretty straight putt from that area. So we'll see if Garcia and Camacho play it straight, or if what they read into it. So you know, it's good to see those guys going around on the backside to take a look from the far side as well. A lot of the times people won't look at it from both sides. They just look at it from, you know, the one, you know, the way you're putting, and you can't really always get a good read. And now, like I've said a while ago, the cuss and discuss. This is Garcia and Camacho. They're talking. He's like, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to play it right about here. What do you see? And that's good team golf right there when you start looking at it that way. Trying to figure out the best place, and then if you know who the better putter is, you probably want them to go second, because it's always better to give your better putter a read, maybe.
Well, and this putt really is a big deal because they're sitting at 8 under right now, or excuse me, 11 under. So, they kind of want to solidify that lead that they have at this point.
Yep. You could get them to.
Crunk and Wade are only 3 strokes back, so it could really.
Smooth stroke. Oh, just probably the speed a little bit. You didn't see much of a break, but with the speed that he had, it didn't turn at all. So I don't know if that helped Garcia read that, because that's part of what I was talking about before in that area. It's just one of those that's it looks like it's going to fall to the left, and you saw he kept it up to the right side. I don't know if he just played it there thinking that it was going to turn.
It's really kind of that weird plateau of the green where you're either one side or the other side.
Oh. And he played it just on that inside. I'm sure he probably played it on the inside lip, the right side. And again, it's pretty straight. If he'd have played it dead into the cup, that might have been their birdie, but at least they're going to stay with their par there. Still finish out a pretty nice day at 11 under. Now a birdie attempt for Crunk and Wade. See if they can get to 9 under for the day. Bubba going to take his shot at it first.
Just didn't break like he thought it was going to there.
And just, again, I think it's a lot of how it plays out of that fringe. He played it down on the right side, but you didn't really see it fall off a lot either once it went past the hole. But he hit it pretty firm. So Wade, of course, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So he's going, what is this Texas grass going to do with my ball?
Yeah, welcome to Texas, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think already, just from the first 4 groups, we've seen the green play just a little bit faster, I think, than we did with those first 4.
We had that about a 25-minute lull between all the teams, and that really allows for it to dry out quite a bit. 25 minutes of sun in Texas can fry you.
Oh.
And so he played it to the left side. Bubba was to the right, and he was to the left, and so
if both teams had played it, just straight. Of course, hindsight's always 20/20,
and it's always easier for us to say it up here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Bubba tried to play it to that left side again, and just not. So now they're in a little bit of trouble here, because if Wade doesn't make this, then they'll drop a stroke. Go to 7 under for the day. Wade rolls it around and in, so they'll stay at the 8 under.
Nice sigh of relief there for Wade.
Sure, yeah. So next up, out in the fairway behind these guys, they finish up their day. We got Drew Springer and Gus Underwood. Drew from Ballinger and Gus from San Angelo. And they are sitting at 7 under currently. And then Foster Allen and Scott Antilli, both here from San Angelo, are at 5 under for the day, coming into today, or into the 18th.
So we've got Antilli and Allen there in the blue. You can see them trying to figure out what they're going to do here with their second shot, trying to figure out where they're going to play that green at this point.
Taking a look with their viewfinder, get that yardage right.
The last couple of groups we've seen hit from that spot kind of overshot the hole. So it'll be interesting to see if they have a similar issue here. You know, with the wind blowing like that, sometimes it can be hard to judge how much power you need to put into it, and sometimes it just doesn't play the way you thought it was going to.
Yeah, if some of these guys were smart, they'd be listening to the webcast on Concho Valley homepage on their phone, so that they'd be able to tell what's happening in front of them.
That's a nice putt, or shot there.
Yeah, left himself a pretty decent putt. So, this guy's playing from the wrong side of the ball. Obviously a lefty. And a little more spin on his. So that'll be a team decision as to which one they want out of those two.
Looks like if it was my choice, I'd be playing Antilli's ball there, but
being actually on the green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got Cody Cox and we've got Drew Springer and Gus Underwood here. They're sitting at 7 under in the third flight.
And you know, it's really nice to see a lot of these second flight guys that are coming up and you know, playing well. I mean, obviously these drives,
the weirdest golf shoe I've ever seen in my life.
Obviously he's a gamer.
Yeah, not messing around.
Obviously wearing a boot there. Must have hurt his foot and still wanting to play, so. But I'll give you a walking boot and let you play a little golf.
Hey, that's not bad in a walking boot.
If I was in a walking boot like that, I would not have hit a golf shot that well, I can guarantee you. So that's why these are second flight guys. Talking to it a little bit, and unfortunately left that in the front side bunker, so he's gonna have to go with Drew's shot.
A couple of first-year guys here. Drew out of Ballinger, Texas, and Gus right here in San Angelo.
Yeah, Drew played in the Bentwood partnership out here. We gave him kudos for having the best mustache, or one of the best mustaches. I know there's some guys coming up here in just a minute, Dormus and Mackey, that I believe they're in the group behind them. Yeah, they're on the tee box. Unless they've shaved them, they had some glorious mustaches during the Bentwood partnership. So
that group teeing off right now, actually. Now everyone's kind of playing through a little bit, getting things going, and really moving. That's a group of Cody Cox, Matt McCormick, Mitchell Perimus, and J.C. Pitts. They're in the third flight here, getting things going. Perimus teeing off there at the box. Perimus is from Brownwood, Texas. His second year playing in the Texas Duel.
not sure that he liked his tee shot.
You'll have that every now and then.
I seem to have it every time I step on the tee box.
The perils of golf,
but,
right?
Yeah.
Pick things back up here on the green now. got Foster Allen, Scott Antilli, Drew Springer, Gus Underwood figuring out what they're going to do, how they're going to approach the hole here as they try and wrap up 18 with a good score.
Springer and Underwood just off the fringe. Figure out what this is going to do.
And that's the difficulty you saw there, coming out of the fringe and going uphill. You do not know how it's going to play off the fringe because you've got that lip.
You see Springer's pulled out his wedge right there. He's going to try a little flop shot, I'm sure. See if he can take away the play out of the fringe altogether. Played it really well, just a little too much, but again, I'm just impressed that he's playing in that walking boot, so.
Man, I can't get over it. I really can't. I wouldn't do it.
I think it's a Reebok walking boot. Did you see the pump in the front there so you could pump it up? That's aging myself.
Yeah,
isn't it?
no, just a little bit.
All right.
That's all right. They brought the pumps back. Nobody bought them, but they brought them back.
Yeah.
Foster Allen and Scott Antilli now sitting at 5 under.
Oh. His partner thought he made it. His partner was already walking away with his hand
celebrating.
in the air.
He was ready to get his drink on.
Just didn't work out the way he thought it was going to.
Played that one just a little bit too light.
So they'll finish out their day with a par. Stay at 5 under. And another par there. So they'll stay at 7 and 5 under for their days. And that's out of the third flight. Next up, either side of the fairway, which is something we haven't seen yet today, but you know, that's the way it goes when you get into these higher flighted guys. The third flight, we've got Cody Cox and Matt McCormick, Mitchell Dormus and J.C. Pitts. Dormus and Pitts are 4 under on the day, and Cox and McCormick are 7 under. So right now tied with Springer and Underwood. They might have an opportunity to go ahead of them if they can make something happen here.
Right there, you got the team of Cody Cox and Matt McCormick figuring out how they're going to play this one from the fairway. Sitting at 7 under, as David mentioned, tied with Drew Springer and Gus Underwood. So this really is a big hole for them, trying to shuffle positions a little bit and maybe take a lead. Certainly don't want to fall behind.
They'll let the other guys play as they're away.
Mitchell Dormus there and J.C. Pitts.
Still trying to decide what they want to do over there. It's one of those, do you want to play over the trees? Do you want to play it under it? Try and run it up to the green? Really, I don't think there's much tree play for these guys. They're probably going to try and bring it up over that tree.
Well, and the benefit of best ball. One can try it one way, and then the next can try it the other. So
true that. See what he decides here. It looks like he's probably going to come up over it. does, but he has found the front side bunker.
That's the first play in the bunker we have today. So,
well, we had one other go in, but they had the team had a shot, so outside of it. So we'll see what his teammate does here and see if they can keep their play off of the beach.
J.C. Pitts taking a shot here.
Pitts didn't really help his partner out. It went right into the tree there.
Having a good little laugh about it there.
Partner may be laughing at him a little bit, yeah. So, I guess we'll be playing the sand shot.
Cody Cox now from Ira, Texas. Sporting the Rangers there. David, you're a Rangers fan.
Yes, I am. Even when they're terrible.
Good thing. They're sitting at 7 under right now.
Looking at it like he likes it. He should like it because it ended up pretty nice.
Just stopped right there on the green.
Yeah, which is it's a tough place to stop it because that's about where the slope of the front side of the green starts pulling it back. So it must not have been a lot of spin on that ball, or it stuck really well. Put a little stickum on it before he reached down there and sprayed it and said, "Please stick on the green."
Matt McCormick from Snyder, Texas now. His second year playing in the Texas Duel. Try to outdo his partner a little bit here on this shot if he can.
He just went a little longer, so I bet they stay with their first shot.
And we'll get to see our first play out of a sand bunker today.
That's right. They'll be playing their third shot out of the front side bunker. I think they're trying to find his ball that went into the tree. Rolling around back there on the left side of your picture.
Again, right now, Cody Cox and Matt McCormick sitting at 7 under. They've got a shot on. And Mitch Dormus, J.C. Pitts, they're 4 under. And they're sitting in the sand bunker trying to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to play it.
So Cox and McCormick making their way up onto the green. Still trying to find that ball back there in the fairway, the one that went into the tree. His partner wasn't a lot of help because he was laughing at him whenever he hit it into the tree, so he didn't really see where it dropped down. You may just have to say, we're going to leave it.
We saw a really nice shot from Cody Cox to put them right there on the green in that spot that he's standing.
Yeah, because the ball just stuck whenever it hit the green, just stopped right there, which is really, you know, the slope is just 3 or 4 feet behind where he was standing, where the ball hit, and so, but he made a nice little play on it. It sat right there for him.
Yeah, they could be in a really different spot had he just, you know, been a couple inches one way.
One dimple or more.
Yeah.
One dimple or more in that golf ball. And we're sitting down at the front of the green. So Pitts and Dormus making their way around. Maybe you should hand them your sandals, Cody.
Yeah, right.
Beach to play.
J.C. Pitts from Early, Texas. you never want to be the group that has to carry 2 clubs, right?
Well,
I mean at that point,
when you get to the green,
yeah,
you don't want to have 2 when you're at the green. You'd like to get out of your cart just with your putter.
taking a look at it, figuring out how they're going to play out of that sand.
And he sculled that one out of the sand all the way back over here to by our Texas Duel guys. Maybe he wasn't happy with the way the tournament was going. But, I mean, that's the way it is sometimes, because you can't obviously ground your club in the sand trap. And if you pick it just right, a lot of times you will just scull it out of there. It's a better sand shot there. Gives them an opportunity to try and par it.
Be a long putt for it, but it does give them that chance, and that, I mean, that you have to be happy with that. You know, you think you're playing out of the sand and see your partner go first there, and a little confidence booster after you hit the tree.
Sure.
Matt McCormick will take the first shot here for his team
for the birdie.
Trying to move to 8 under on the day. They're sitting at 7 under right now. Again, we've talked about this, but that can be a weird spot to play from too, because you're going a little bit uphill on that, but you have downhill on the backside there, so you got to play it safely and not put too much into it, but you still got to get it to the hole. Left it just a little bit short.
Yep. So hopefully his teammate saw what he did. Give him the opportunity to make the birdie. He left it even shorter. He's like, what? I thought I hit it just as strong as you did.
They'll have a chance to par it, though, here and stay at 7 under on the day. And they'll do just that.
Now we're go back to Pitts and Dormus, scrambling to keep their par. Not drop another stroke right here. Depending on how many teams are already qualified in this third flight, I wonder if they're on the cut line being at just 4 under.
Yeah, I mean, if so, that makes it even a little more nerve-wracking here. You want to keep it, obviously, at the best score you can.
Made a really nice roll at it right there. Just left it a little bit on the downhill side.
And we've talked about this. We saw a couple of groups before play it, playing a little bit to the left or to the right rather than trying to take that straight shot at it.
And it's really just been a fairly straight putt, being where it is on that ridge. It just looks like it's going to fall off. And I think a lot of it just is a visual thing. Everybody looks at it and they see that slope going downhill to the left, and I think they read into it that it's going to fall off the left, and it's pretty much dead into the hole.
shot that one just a little bit to the left there.
They will drop the stroke here as they bogey that hole. That'll be our first bogey of the day.
They'll finish up with a 3 under on the day. Cox and McCormick will finish with a 7 under.
So our next group out on the 18th. Got Steve Jones, Jeremy Shields. They're coming in at 6 under. And then Ray Montgomery and Blake Vincent are at 2 over for the day. So tough day for Montgomery and Vincent. That's them there along the fence line on the right side of the fairway. Of course, Blake Vincent, his son Cal, just a couple of years removed from Central High School, was the quarterback, won a district title, went pretty deep in the playoffs. Unfortunately, ran up against Allen High School.
What a game that was, though. Sold out crowd.
Blake and Ray play a lot of golf out here. Blake with a pretty good shot, left it short of the front side bunker. Ray Montgomery, of course, banker here in town. Big supporter of Angelo State athletics as well. And just all around super nice guy. I like Ray. He gives me a hard time about being an Abilene Christian alum, but you know.
That'll happen.
It's all those years of ASU playing ACU. Well, if he didn't clip that tree, it looks like he had a fairly decent shot. Not too shabby. He did make the green, just front side. Going to be a tough putt from there because you're coming back up over the ridge, and then it's going to have to flatten out and get to that hole. So it's probably going to, you know, as you come over the, I guess the break point of the ridge there, it's going to cut back to the left a little bit. Not too hard, but see how that plays for Montgomery and Vincent when they putt it here in a second.
It never plays well for me because I always want to go for the hole. And so then I'm just playing back and forth the whole time.
Jones and Shield out of Brady, Texas. Made the short drive over for this Texas Duel qualifier.
Sitting at 6 under on the day right now.
Yeah, I bet he wished that would have been about a club longer, because it would have checked out of that probably first fringe and
had a really nice line on it. Just played it shorter than he had hoped.
And that's going to be over. He tried to give it a little more than what his partner did, so he would make up the difference, but he gave it a little too much.
Meet in the middle there.
So again, though, as we get into these higher flights, in this third flight, we'll start seeing golf shots more similar to ours, Cody. So you know,
makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
6 under on the day, though, right now for Steve Jones and Jeremy Shields. So they're, I mean,
yeah, for being in the third flight, that's really a great day for those guys. So
we've got 2 teams at 7 under, so this is a big hole for them if they can somehow gain a stroke here.
They could make it a 3-way tie. Have to make a pretty amazing birdie putt off the fringe, but it can happen. I have seen it happen. So the Brady boys taking a look at it, talking it over. Fixing a couple of ball marks on the green. Make sure it doesn't run over. You can see Ray telling Blake that's about where that ridge is, right here. That's where it's going to come flatten out once it gets up over it.
Steve Jones and Jeremy Shields figuring out what they're going to do. Sitting kind of there in that weird fringe spot. It's putt territory, but it's really tough.
Again, I'm sure you can hear the breeze coming across our microphones. It does play a little bit into your mind when you're trying to putt, just feeling that breeze come across you. Left it a little short, as he did his approach shot as well. Now we know his partner hit it a lot farther last time, so see if he putts as strong as his approach shot is. It may work out a lot better for him.
It's hard enough to putt uphill, but when you're starting in that fringe, the ball obviously takes off very different than it does from in the green, so you've almost got to do some weird math equation to figure out how it's going to travel to the hole.
Came out really smooth, but you can see how much it played with the ball. So not going to be able to tie it up, but should be able to finish out that par for those guys, Jones and Shields. Finish up their day at 600, hopefully. Vincent and Montgomery.
Got a long putt here, probably the longest putt of the day so far.
So far for groups we've seen, this is definitely the longest putt, but a birdie attempt for these guys. Blake taking a look at it. And nice roll, just left himself a little work there. Didn't turn as much to the left as I thought it was going to. So hopefully Ray Montgomery saw something there from his partner and can get that ball a little closer to the hole, maybe even in it.
Very nice approach though there by Blake Vincent to get right there within a foot or two.
Yep. Very nice putt, especially from that far away.
Mm-hmm.
See that reverse grip putt again there. Ray getting his putter settled. Hopped on him a little. Looked like he had the line, just didn't quite have enough to get it there. They're trying to decide, should we putt yours or mine? I think they decided to take Blake's mark, and we'll finish out from his angle in just a moment.
Jeremy Shields going to try and wrap up this par for Shields and Jones. Finish the day at 6 under in the third flight, and he'll do just that.
Shields looked like he probably played running back with Brady. I'd turn around and hand that boy the ball.
Right?
Short, stocky guy like that, hide behind some linemen. Fly through on the other side. Mm-hmm. Good putt by Vincent there.
And they'll finish the day at 2 over.
So our next group that's coming up, as these guys finish off, we've got Bruce Fletcher and Mike Vervith, and they are 6 over on the day, while Daryl Cates and Mark Soto are 2 under. So for the third flight, 7 is still our lead, correct, for the third flight?
Yeah, that's the lead right now in the third flight.
Cox
We've got
and
a
McCormick, and then
tie there.
Yeah.
With Springer and Underwood.
And that should be Bruce Fletcher and Mike Verveth right there. Might be Daryl Cates that just teed off. Yeah, that's Daryl.
Team of Daryl Cates and Mark Soto, both from San Angelo, Texas, here in the third flight.
You know, now we're starting to see a few other people gathering around watching. See some gallery members behind these guys. They're teeing off. It's always nice to see folks coming out. Maybe they were listening to the broadcast earlier and said, hey, let's come out and watch a little bit.
It's a gorgeous day. I mean, it really is a perfect day for it.
Yeah, especially for San Angelo, Texas in August. It's a really nice day. I mean, who would have thought that the temperature at this time of day would only be 90?
Yeah,
in
August.
August.
Forecast was 99
Yep.
today, but that front just kind of stalled out. Never quite made it here. That's okay.
Little rain for us this morning surely helped. So
this is a nice shot down the fairway for the team of Bruce Fletcher and Mike Verfurth.
Just over that hump, which is one area that's where a lot of golfers like to play it. They like to see it just, you know, hit right in front of that, roll up over it. Always leaves you with a pretty good second shot position, especially with the pin placement at where it is today. Allows you a lot of opportunities to leave it just below the hole in a place that's good for you to maybe put a mark on your card. And a good mark, not those snowmen that I put up there all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Or the magical max out at 10 that we play at times.
Magical max out at 10. Now that's awesome.
I need to get some more days off so that I can get out on the golf course, be ready for next year's Duel.
Maybe I'll talk to your boss about
yeah,
see if that can happen. Now Cates is walking back up on the box. I don't know if they're taking a provisional because they're not sure where their drives went. So I know coming into this hole, it was more of Fletcher and Burbett that were scrambling a little bit as they were +6 and Cates and Soto were 2 under, but it looks like they're both going to tee up and hit again, so I'm not sure what happened here. If it went straight into a backyard or out of bounds.
Got a nice bounce off a tree there, though.
Yep, and right back out in the fairway. That's going to work out well for Cates. But, I mean, if they're taking a stroke penalty, it's still going to be... So, a couple of at least maybe provisional drives there to see what's going on with that. May have to try and get Jay West to see what the ruling would be on that. for those guys. As the Texas Duel guys are just down here to our left. And as people come off and finishing up for the day, keeping track of all the teams and where they are and letting them know if they're going to be playing next Friday and Saturday or if it's been nice taking your money. So I saw, I guess that's Mark Soto and Daryl Cates over along the fence line on the far side, as well as Fletcher and Verveth. I guess they're just looking for a ball there. I mean, Cates and Soto, if they can find theirs and they're in play, they may play from over there along the fence line, but if it's out of bounds, obviously that's why they hit those provisional drives. They're going to have to pick that up and take the stroke. I guess they figured they might as well just take it and hit a better drive.
And sometimes that's true, yeah.
What it looks like they did, because their team handed them that ball, and they're headed onto these in the fairway. So even with the stroke penalty, if that's what they did, then they probably have a better opportunity to be where they are now as they circle around that ball. And yep. I like the hubcaps on that golf cart. Look at that. Now, that's both those provisional drives, so they picked both those up. There must be another ball that they have back there along the fence line that they're going to go ahead and play and save themselves a stroke penalty.
That might have been Cates' first drive. It took off a little bit there.
Yeah.
He wasn't too thrilled with it, but...
And maybe they found it over there, and they're like, well, let's go ahead and play it if it was playable. Because they're along that white fence line on what's the left side of the fairway as you look back from the 18th green, or the right side of the fairway as you come up from the 18th tee box. They're getting a yardage over there. You're out in the fairway right now with Fletcher and Verveth, but Cates and Soto are back along that fence line, so they'll play first.
Looks like, as you mentioned, they did find their ball back there along that white fence.
Yeah, right there they are. You can see them. Daryl Cates getting up over that.
Certainly a tough spot to play from, but better than giving up a stroke. Just, right off the bat.
And again, you can see all the trees and where they are, whether or not they elect to play over the trees or if they're going to try and punch it through, which they might.
That's the way I play. Just punch it through.
West Texas golf, that's what I always do. Keep it low. It looks like that's what Daryl's trying to do, is he's not going to really finish that stroke. He's just kind of stopping at about 3/4. Might tell our camera guy right there to be on his twinkle toes. Yep, it's coming right at you. Hit a little cart path. Roll past you, bounce, keep bouncing. I've played cart path golf before.
Obviously, he would have liked to have pushed that a little bit to the fairway, but that's not a bad shot out of that spot. Gets you kind of out in the open and gives you a fair shot to get up to the green from there.
I mean, obviously, it's their second shot from where they are. It's tough positioning. Look, he's trying to point the pins over here. Can I get through there? Talking to his teammate a little bit, see if he can get one. And he may do that. He may look at trying to play it out to the fairway as opposed to playing it towards the green.
As Fletcher and Verveth wait, they're trying to improve their score of 6 over.
Well, he got a good
really
cart
nice
path
shot.
bounce. So skipped right off the cart path, and that's going to leave them with really pretty good, maybe up and down to get a par after scrambling with a bad tee shot.
That's a great shot there by Mark Soto to really put them in a great position. That's Fletcher there, taking his swing at it.
Good bounce. Almost got over that front side fringe. Hung up on the front there a little bit, but
That stuff's like Velcro. Once it hits there, it's very rare that it gets out of that spot.
it can be. That is for sure. On Burwood. His stayed a little more out to his left. And not going to like where it landed over by the tree on the far side of the green. Yeah, it's in that grass right there. Kind of see it.
That's a pick-me-up-later ball. That's
Yeah.
what we call that.
Team golf. We'll go back to your shot, buddy. So Fletcher and them coming 6 over into this hole, while Cates and Soto were 2 under. They're really going to have to scramble so that they don't drop a stroke here, being that they need to get up and down to do that.
Both teams' first-year players in the Texas Duel tournament.
And a lot of the Duel players from the earlier rounds hanging around down here by the scorers table, watching their friends come in, seeing how these other flights are playing as well. And these two teams teed off on number 1 just after 11 o'clock this morning. So really putting in just over a 5-hour round.
Both these teams have to be fairly happy, though, kind of at this point in the 18th, just where they're playing from, especially, as we mentioned, Cates and Soto being over by that fence row. A really good shot to put them right up here in the fairway and give them a shot to par, as you said.
Yep. I mean, obviously they have the opportunity to birdie it if they can put it in the hole right here, but we might see some jumping up and down if that happens. Daryl Cates taking his practice swings. Really nice shot. Soft bounce. A little farther probably than he wanted, but not bad at all.
I like the way he played it right there, kind of trying to put it to the side and be able to play back at it a little bit. Just got a little bit more roll than he'd wanted, as you said, but still a really nice play there.
Sure, Daryl was looking for a little more of a friendly backside of the bunker, hoping it would kick a little more to the right for him. Now he's going to root on his partner.
Even better shot.
He should clap for him. He gave him a shorter par opportunity there to keep it at 2 under for those guys. Marking that for his teammate, picking his up. Oh, that's a really great
Very
putt.
nice putt.
Just really turned on him right there at the end. Let's see if his teammate went to school, learned anything right there on that one.
That's tough out of the fringe like that. That was a very nice line.
Yeah, he had a really nice roll. Because it didn't jump on him at all or anything the way we've seen most of those putts coming out of that fringe.
Yeah.
Struck it pretty pure. So everybody's scrambling for a par now.
Daryl pointing out there where he thinks it may just turn a little bit on him.
And this pin placement just makes it so deceiving. Because a lot of times you look at that and you think it's going to turn right there, and it doesn't.
Good
but
putt.
Daryl, he just walked up and knocked that in there like he knew what he was doing, didn't he?
They'll finish the day 2 under. Team of Daryl Cates and Mark Soto. Good day of golf for those fellas.
Are they talking about whether or not it's in the leather? Like, hey, you want to just give us this one? Since they're already... And he puts it in, so...
Fletcher and Verfurth will finish 6 over on the day.
Handshakes all around. So...
Nice little fun day of golf there. You know, you play 18 holes with a group of 4 people, and you get to know each other fairly well.
Yep.
Have a good little day.
All right, so next up we've got Corey Braden and Jason Carr, which they are 3 under on the day. And then Norm Gangoro and Ruben Gomez are at 6 under. These guys are in the 3rd flight as well.
Gangora and Gomez with a shot here to, you know, get up there, and we've got 2 teams right now stuck at 7 under. Drew Springer and Gus Underwood and Cody Cox and Matt McCormick there in the 3rd flight, tied at 7 under. So a real chance for Gangora and Gomez to maybe tie things up here and really force a tie. And a nice shot onto the green there by those 2 fellas, or by Braden and Carr first off there.
And still have another opportunity to see if we can get inside that. So if you can't hear us for their shirts, there's a reason. They went with the loud green shirts, didn't they?
Yeah, that Seattle Seahawks green there. That's Corey Braden there sporting the green shorts too to go with it. And then Jason Carr right now in the tan shorts. Nice high one.
Look at that.
Ooh.
If it sticks a little more, he's a lot happier with that, but still a very nice shot for them. So now just to decide whose shot are we going to play. We're going to play from the backside. We're going to play up over the ridge. I don't know what you did, Cody, but our breeze died.
I know. I sucked it all in.
It was here just a moment ago, and all of a sudden it just, like, died.
It's all that hot air I breathe.
You cause your own
yeah.
high-pressure front? Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
A little bit off the backside with that one.
will play a little bit better for them. Still in the fringe, but certainly a lot closer.
Probably happy that that did not get in the bunker either, so it did Velcro to that fringe over there, as you like to say. Stuck there. These guys will make their way up. Corey Braden, Jason Carr at 3 under, and Norm Gongora and Ruben Gomez at 6 under. Gomez and Gongora from Abilene, Texas, and Braden and Carr, of course, here in San Angelo.
It's always nice to be surprised by your shot. As they're
Yeah.
talking coming up on it here.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was much farther back than that.
Yeah, Carr and Braden certainly get the award for most outstanding uniform today so far. That's a very bright green.
We're going to have to recolor balance our cameras after that gets on there, so.
They'll also be helping with traffic afterwards.
I'm sure it'll be pretty easy to see where the traffic's going. The 19th hole, that's where most of them go.
That's right.
Now, if they've been listening to the live stream on Concho Valley homepage, they know how it comes out of this fringe.
Gomez will take the first crack at it.
They have not been listening to the stream.
Norm Gongora here. Take his second shot at it for his team and put it basically the same spot.
Yep. He's watching his partner a little too hard. Too intently. You see that?
Braden and Carr sitting at 3 under right now. Certainly like to get that to 4 under if they can.
He thought that was going to break a lot more.
Take a second crack at it here.
And they look at it like, why didn't that turn more left? Because it's fairly straight.
They'll finish out at 3 under on the day. Corey Braden and Jason Carr. And Norm Gongora and Ruben Gomez, they'll finish at 6 under on the day. So good score for those guys. Puts them in a tie for second place right now
In the third
that
flight.
flight.
couple of fourth flight teams back on the tee box. We got Noah Smith and Shelby Colbert, actually. And then Shane Hill and Jason Huffman. Colbert and Smith are sitting at 5 under, while Hill and Jason Huffman are at 2 over on the day. So they just hit their tee shots and making their way up the fairway. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com for our final qualifier coverage of the Texas Duel qualifying golf tournaments. Our championship coverage will begin next Friday. All the teams that finish up today, and if you're in the top 12 in any of the flights, you'll be making the qualifier or the championships next Friday and Saturday. So Cody Adams will be here all day Saturday to take care of final round coverage. I'll join y'all on Friday. So we're still trying to decide if we're going to allow Cody to come back on Friday or not. So
I'm pulling for it.
Yeah, we'll see.
We've got 3 teams in this 4th flight.
So I know a lot of these higher flighted guys waited a little later to try for this last qualifier to see what was still available out there for the championship weekend next weekend. So
looks like Shane Hill and Jason Huffman searching for a ball over there along the trees.
that, or they're seeing if they know anybody in the backyards with a drink. Like Noah Smith going to take the cart across the green and help them out a little bit, see if they can find it.
This is the way I play normally.
Yeah, looking for a ball?
Yeah, but I do it on every hole, so it's not just like a one-stop shop type of thing.
So your 18 holes of golf usually take, what,
like
8.5 hours?
Yeah, depending on other variables. That's why you have that magic 10 max that I talk about. Speed that thing up a little bit. Max. Although I will say, last time I went with Jason Birch and Dan Smith, I only shot a 8 over on 9 holes, which I was pretty proud of. I hadn't golfed all year. Dan Smith won that day. He shot a 4 over. I don't remember what Jason did.
So you were at your 10 drink max as well.
Yeah, yes, very much so.
And we found it. It's up here. And like, guys, it's way up here alongside this fence line right here.
Good little teamwork there from that group.
It's like Huffman and Hill said, well, thanks for finding it, but we're not using it. We're going to go back over here. Noah Smith's brother, Gage, now kicking for the ASU Ram football team, was the field goal kicker for Central Bobcats last year as a senior, but his making his way as a freshman onto the ASU special teams.
The Rams season gets underway here in just a few weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks. Bobcats, not this next Friday, but a week later. They do have a scrimmage, I believe, this next Friday, and get underway the 31st here at home as Colleen Shoemaker comes to town. Those kids last year, when we went to Colleen, they are fast. So they jumped out on the Bobcats early, and then we had to come back to to win that ball game.
Certainly be a fun season for some Bobcats football this year. Lakeview switching their down in 4A now.
And looking for big things or different things, obviously, for the Chiefs after they've struggled the last several years.
I was talking the other day on KLST News at 5 with SAISD Athletic Director Brent McCauley, and he was talking exactly about that. Hector Guevara out at Lakeview, his second year as head coach there, and they think they've got things going pretty well, so it should be a lot of fun in San Angelo for some high school football this year. It's a good shot there. Goes a little bit over.
Yeah, that leaked a little farther left than what he wanted.
Looked good off the club, just didn't land where he was hoping.
So Noah Smith now, his teammate, using that weird golf club from the other side again, that left-handed thing. I give Noah a hard time, known the kid for a long time. A good little golfer.
Have you ever tried to swing a left-handed golf club?
I've never tried to swing a left-handed golf club. I might have used my right-handed golf clubs one time as a left-hander trying to get out of a bad situation, which just really turned out into a worse situation. But, yeah.
From Noah, though.
Yeah, left his teammate a nice birdie putt there. Hill and Huffman now. Two over on the day. So really hoping to get something out of this. They're giggling with each other back there because they know they're probably like, Wagner's up there in the box talking about us, I guarantee you. I know, I've known both these guys for a long time. Played a little soccer with Shane Hill. Mr. Huffman taught my son some tennis lessons. God bless him.
Telling our cameraman Tim over there to duck a little bit, be ready, because it's coming right for him.
Yeah, Shane's like, be careful. That's probably what they were really giggling about. Shane didn't like it at all. Yeah. See, almost didn't finish that, I think, just because probably a little nervous about our camera operator being right there. Jason got that one up over the trees. Did he have enough to get it to the green? Yes, he did.
Nice.
A little work, but from that position off to the right of the cart path, not a bad play at all. So still have an opportunity to maybe knock that score down a little bit more. Get a little closer to even.
Back on the tee box there, you can see our colleague Cody Brown and his dad Kerry. This is their first year playing. They're in the 5th flight.
I'm just glad Cody wore pants today. I didn't want to see those wide legs.
Reagan Noble back there, his 3rd year playing this tournament, and Kevin Wagner back there as well. They're in the 4th flight. They're the last team of the 3 in the 4th flight. As they tee off, as we wait things out here on the green for Colvert, Smith, Hill, and Huffman to finish up their day of 18.
Nice shot, Noah. Hill and Huffman making the walk back down. They passed up Hill's second shot. Didn't quite get as far as they thought it was. Back on that left side of the fairway is Smith and his partner are looking for his ball. It's more to your right. Yeah, Noah sees it now.
Sometimes you see it the first time and
So a couple of birdie opportunities for these two teams as they finish up their rounds in the fourth flight, looking to make it to championship weekend next Friday and Saturday.
I have to say, as we're waiting this out, I was looking back and I just saw Cody Brown tee off, and he's playing in the fairway. I'm not actually too disappointed in him.
But where in the fairway? I don't see it.
It's back there, but
okay. So he didn't hit it very hard, is what you're telling me.
No.
Okay.
It was like a putt with a driver.
So the Browns, just to update you as you're talking about them, they were 2 over at the turn. They haven't played very well on the other side, because now they're 6 over. Whereas Noble and Wagner are 1 under. Now they're in the fourth flight, whereas Cody and his dad are in the fifth flight, but they're playing with the fourth flight team just because of the way things were paired today. And we only have a few more teams left.
Yeah, we've only got,
well, just another group after them. Yep. Our coverage here today. So Colbert and Smith, 5 under on the day, looking to go to 6 under if they can make a putt. While Hill and Huffman are 2 over, looking to go to 1 over if they make this putt. Again, tough position for them down on the front side of the green, coming uphill. I'm sure the green has dried out quite a bit now that the sun's been on it for a few hours.
Jason Huffman will take the first crack at it there.
Oh. Made a good run. He didn't leave it short, that's for sure. So
looked like he had a pretty good line at it, just a little bit going and didn't quite get there.
Jason's telling him what he was aiming at. Shane Hill. That's a, oh. That was a heck of a putt by Shane Hill. I thought he had it.
Really good putt.
Slipped down on him. Noah Smith, his birdie attempt. Left it just a little bit on the left side.
See if Shelby Colvert can see what went wrong there. Try to correct it on this shot.
Well, Noah missed the hole. That's what went wrong.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Just don't do that.
No.
Playing with the yellow ball. You don't see that very often.
And it disappears. He made that yellow ball disappear and add another stroke to get them to 6 under in that 4th flight. Nice putt. Good teamwork there as Smith got him on the green, and then Jason finishes that out.
They'll finish their day at 2 over.
Hats off and handshakes. Shane not happy.
He just had something on his hat.
Oh, it's just a mosquito or something, right? Yeah, on the leg. It happens. Back out into the fairway now with the Brown family.
Cody Brown and his dad, Kerry Brown.
Looks like he's going to let Dad go first. Being respectful of his elders,
That's right? Yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Little punch shot, see if it can run up here. And fortunately, it may run all the way into the bunker, and it does. All the way into this backside bunker.
See if Cody Brown can play that any better than his dad there. Try and put him in a little bit better position.
Looks like he's giving his dad a little flack right there. What'd you do, Dad?
He's nervous. You can see in his face. He knows we're watching.
Yeah. And he kind of hooked that, so it's either going to have to play from the bunker or over the front side bunker. The Browns, I guess, have struggled on the backside. To the other side of the fairway along the fence line now, I think that's yeah, Kevin Wagner. Got it up over the tree, but more down in the front side of the front bunker than the front side of the green. See what Reagan Noble can do. I know he can straighten your teeth. He does a good job with his orthodontics.
Noble and Widener sitting at 1 under in the
Reagan look up and over that tree. And nice shot Reagan hits. Drops it right on the green. Leaves him a good birdie opportunity there.
They're the 3rd and final group of that 4th flight. Noble and Widener are. Brown, the Brown squad, they're the first group here of the 5th flight that we've seen. Our last flight of the day.
Kevin marking his partner's ball. Saying thank you. Giving us a birdie opportunity like this.
Yeah, that was one of those we've seen a few times today where it just hit the green and just stopped right there. And a really good shot to set them up. Wagner and Noble gonna chat about what they want to do here. Figure out kind of how that green plays, and we've talked about it all day. This 18th green is just kind of strange in the way that it sits up there on that ridge, because if you don't play that right, you could end up down this back side from where they sit right now. So you want to make sure that you got a good line on it and kind of play it safe almost.
Yeah, and it looks like the Browns have decided to go with Dad's sand shot over here. So they picked up Cody's shot that was in the thick stuff back in front of the front side bunker, and they're going to play out of this backside sand bunker.
And part of that might be, you know, as you said earlier, they were on the front side of that other bunker, so you got to go over the bunker and still play with short green there if you're playing up to the hole, as to where here you have a little bit more space to work with.
And hitting out that thick, grabby grass back there. So, well, Kerry got all that one in the sand, but just didn't carry enough of the ball with it. So
that happens. That's.
I have dug a few holes in a sand bunker before, trying to get a ball out.
It's nice to see Cody doing some work, though. Right?
As opposed to his daily routine.
Yeah, just walking around.
Acting like he knows what he's doing. Well, he looked like he knew what he was doing coming out of the sand right there, so...
Not a bad shot there.
Left himself a little work for par, but not too bad at all. Obviously, he's not doing enough work at the station. He must be playing too much golf. If he can hit one out of the bunker like that, so...
And still have the energy to rake.
Yeah. Of course, Cody was a swimmer at Central back in the day.
Reagan Noble and Kevin Wagner trying to get another stroke on their score here. Try to get to 2 under on the day in that 4th flight.
Kevin going to take the first crack at the birdie. Left it short. Well short.
Just a slight hill there that sometimes can mentally just mess with you, because you think it looks a little bit more flat than it really is sometimes.
Looks like he had a pretty good read on it, just Noble with a good roll, but left it short as well. Little par putt to finish that out for them, while Brown and Brown look theirs over.
So Noble and Wagner will finish the day 1 under in the 4th flight. Cody just went wide right with that one.
Telling his dad, hey, don't do that. Don't hit it over there.
His expertise there. Do the opposite of missing it.
And Dad, listen, but hit a little too hard. So if he doesn't hit quite that hard, I think that drops in. And Cody just going to go ahead and finish out. So they'll take the bogey.
And that'll finish their day at 7 over. And Kevin Wagner will knock that one down for the par. That'll finish them up at 1 under in the 4th flight.
So our last two groups of the day coming up, Abel Ledesma and... Don't make me say that name, Cody.
Rich Rizzelli is how I'm going to say it.
Rich Rizzelli from Menard, and then Jesse Estrada and Jesse Fitchett from San Angelo, both in the 5th flight. Ledesma and Rizzelli are 2 over, while Estrada and Fitchett are 4 under in the 5th flight. So playing very well. Looks like they're taking a phone call, trying to figure out exactly...
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
What club do I use?
Yeah, which club am I using here? Is that your final answer? Or it's like Cash Cab, it's a mobile shout-out.
Or in my case, it's my wife going, hey, where are you?
Are you finished
You've
yet?
been golfing for 5 hours.
Yeah. Are you finished yet?
To which I usually respond, we're very close, even though I have like 6 holes left.
Right. This is Fitchett and Estrada.
Jesse Estrada going to take the first crack at things here. Up and
I
over
don't think he was very happy with that one. Bounced off the cart path behind our camera guy and just down into the fairway, but not what he wanted.
Always thank the cart path, though, for a little bit of extra oomph.
Bless you, cart path, is what I always say whenever it hits it.
Jesse Fitchett now taking his swing at things. Try to put them in a little bit better of a position.
Fitchett with a very nice shot. Going to roll up here and get up just on the ridge. Still going to leave them a little work to do for a birdie, but
certainly better than...
At least they're putting for it.
That's right. Abel Ledesma and Rich Rizzelli now. Good shot there from Rich. Oh, ended up in the bunker. Looked like it was going to come just up over it, but just kind of stalled in the middle of the air there.
Yeah, and considering the breeze died down as much as it has, you would think it would have made it, but...
Ledesma now with his shot. And that one will land fairly nicely. It'll play in the green. Just on the other side of that ridge there, but still a good spot to play in and give them a chance to improve their score.
So long birdie putts for both these teams as they finish out their day and as we finish out our coverage of this final qualifying day for the Texas Duel Golf Tournament. That the championships will be next Friday and Saturday here at Bentwood Country Club. So, Fitchett and Ledesma. I'm sorry, Fitchett and Estrada, excuse me. Over here.
Let's see.
Ledesma and Rizal.
Checking it out from the other side there. Just trying to see how the green lays out, how they want to play it, and where they sit. Fitchett will go to the other side. He'll take a look as well. I'd probably be a better golfer if I took the time to look at how the green plays.
Yeah, usually that helps.
Rich Rizal here first, trying to get the birdie.
He may have made a really...
Ooh.
Oh, I thought he had buried it.
What a nice little putt there, though.
Yep.
And
give it a really nice roll.
now Ledesma, if he follows the same path, should be close. And he just misses it the other side.
He's just a little stronger, I think, than the first putt.
They'll finish the day with a 2 over. As Estrada and Fitchett try to get to 5 under with their putt.
We're just going to call them Team Jesse.
Good idea. Jesse Estrada and Jesse Fitchett, both out of San Angelo in the 5th flight, first year playing in the Texas Duel.
Just left it a little short. A little short.
It's a hard distance to judge from, obviously, far, trying to figure out how much strength you need to put on it, where it might turn on you.
I'm sure, too, now with the green drying out a little bit, they're a little scared just to see if it's going to be rolling a little faster. So maybe not hitting it quite as hard as they had when the greens were a little wetter this morning.
And at times we've seen that in earlier groups where the ball just traveled a little bit quicker. And that one's going to finish up short as well.
But you had a good line on it, just again, leaving it a little short. Estrada going to ball down where his mark was.
Of course, the way that green is, short, obviously a little bit better than longer. You don't want to be pushing it too far and end up in that fringe on the other side, maybe even.
And that'll finish out their day, remaining at 4 under for the 5th flight. Hats and handshakes. And we will take a break and come back right after this and finish up our coverage of the last qualifying tournament here for the Texas Duel at Bentwood Country Club on ConchoValleyHomepage.com. We'll be right back.
It's hard work and sacrifice and never even thinking twice, and it's waving at people you don't know, cause that's how we're born and how we're raised. The Concho Valley is our place. It's cheering for the blue and the gold. Local is your neighbors, local is your friends, local is a place you've always been. Then I love the way KSAN's local every day.
Welcome to Dreamscapes, the Concho Valley's premier outdoor living design center. Choose from a variety of custom outdoor fire pits, pergolas, and other outdoor accessories to help complement your outdoor style. We sit down with you to help design your dream outdoor living space. We offer a wide variety of grills to choose from, including pellet grills, gas, charcoal, and ceramic, along with all the extra amenities to complement that new grill. Visit us today so we can get started on bringing your outdoor living space to reality. Right here at Dreamscapes, located at 3602 South Chad.
Remain informed on breaking news with the updated Concho Valley homepage app. Now containing severe weather alerts, push notifications, extended weather forecasts, and more. Download the Concho Valley homepage mobile app today. Available on iPhone, iPad, and Android.
Football, a game not so easily tackled in 5 minutes. Join sports director Jason Brich and Rachel Turnock as they go inside the game.
A close-up look at your area local high school football games.
For 30 minutes every Friday.
That's a lot of football.
Yes, it is.
You can hear me?
The whole time.
Okay. Inside the game. Fridays at 10:35 p.m. on KSAN, San Angelo's
football channel.
Sponsored by Mitchell Auto Group. It'd be cool if you guys could stop stepping on my lines.
You want some of this, man? Man, I knew I shouldn't have gotten the extra large.
Well, welcome back, and thanks again for everyone who helped out in our coverage today of our final qualifying tournament for the Texas Duel tournament. We will have championship coverage beginning next Friday and Saturday. Of course, all the teams today that qualified, good luck to them in the championships next weekend.
Yeah, and such a great day of golf. Everybody really played well, and the weather was perfect for it. And I'm excited for next week, and I think it's going to be a really, really fun championship round.
Yep. Some money to be made for those folks that qualified. So, again, thank you for tuning in to Concho Valley homepage today to see the qualifying tournament. And please join us again Friday and Saturday as we cover the championship rounds here on ConchoValleyHomepage.com of the Texas Duel Golf Tournament here at Bentwood Country Club. For Cody Adams, and I'm David Wagner. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you back here on Friday.